It's out of my hand, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hand. You can never take away the power of my It's out of my hand, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hand. You can never take away the power of my
So, we're gonna do a stream. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna try to make it as funny as humanly possible, as entertaining as possible, but I just am amazed at what I've been seeing. I'm literally amazed. I can't fathom how human people, regular, non-evil demon people that aren't evil demons, I can't fathom. But I'm about to show you. This rabbit hole goes deep. And the real story here is not what they think it is. They think that they've got a secret about the KIELY RODNI disappearance. That now, of course, we know what happened to her. It's the beginning of my stream. I'm trying to tiptoe a little bit here. They think they have this all figured out and that they've got mysteries in front of mysteries in front of them. That they're solving, that they're bringing us, that they're giving the YouTube community. In reality, a giant community of people, they are just using KIELY RODNI's name to make money off the platform. And the difference isn't in saying you can't report on KIELY RODNI, or you can't do a documentary, or you can't make a point, or you can't look at something, or you can't update it, because that's where they try to obfuscate. They'll try to troll and obfuscate and say, well, if other people can report on KIELY RODNI, why can't we? It's because they aren't reporting on something real. They just find any excuse in the world to talk about KIELY. And that community's big, and they're doing it daily, and they're making money off of KIELY RODNI. She's 16. She's not even like, it's not even an adult that went missing. There's so many layers of problems here. And then you've got the FraudRaisers. And yes, after last night, I showed you a creator called YouBackTube Jeff. This mother fluffer. Be careful to hear it. Don't get too crazy. He has uploaded his last video where he's driving by the house, from what I can tell, the home of one of KIELY RODNI's friends, doxing them. He's doxing KIELY RODNI's friends, people that are grieving over losing their friend with no reason whatsoever. Now, he put it out, and we're going to go into the comments section and take a look at what he's saying to people. He put this out under the label Dead Squirrel Productions after threatening a YouTuber named Squirrel that he was going to show her face and address if she kept criticizing him. And I'm not kidding, and this is recent. So he's doxing Squirrel, then threatening her by putting Dead Squirrel Productions in this video. And he says in the comments section, he wrote on his YouTubeback Jeff account that he... Let me think of a way to say this. He wrote that it's one of KIELY RODNI's friends. I'm trying, look, I'm probably gonna have to say her name. Her name has been in the news. I guess I'm just gonna have to do it. But let me show you what I'm talking about. I think Navy, oh, he's in here. What's up, dude? This is gonna be a hard one today, Navy.
It is. It's gonna. This is some. Just
we need to try to keep it as comedic and funny as we possibly can. It's gonna be hard. So yeah, he uploads a video right here. It says, "Justice for Kylie." That should give you the first red flag. Oh, by the way, we'll be talking about Molly and Justin in a little bit. I meant to put Justin's face on the thumbnail and forgot, but I didn't have time. Oh, shit, my Photoshop's still open. Let me fix that. I didn't have time to fix it, so I just left it how I had it. We do have a little bit of an update on old, what's her name? You know what I'm talking about. Old vet basher Nancy over there. So so here's the video. Now, the first things first, he says, "I have eyes everywhere." So this dude is a creep. He is a creeper. He likes to try and advertise or brag about the fact that he will drive by your house and record it. Now, I want you to look at the little box. You see the little box right there? Now, he's basically driving by someone's home and showing their home. And before we get into anything else, the first thing I ask myself, is he doxing this squirrel person? At first, I thought he was. But if he's telling the truth in the comments, then he's actually doxing an 18-year-old friend of Kylie Rodni, an 18-year-old female. Also, by his own admission, he ran background checks on one of Kylie Rodni's 18-year-old girlfriends who had just turned 18 at the time. Why would you want to run a background check on an 18-year-old? You realize they're not going to get any background for anything that happened to them as a kid on their background check. You'd only have a few months of them that would even be applicable to the background check. And do you think that if something happened in those few months, it would even have time to go through the court system and wind up on the background check? It wouldn't. These people have no idea. Oh, shit. Rachel, I'm going to need... Oh, actually, never mind. I got it. There. It was just a little drip. I just don't want it getting in my monitor, so I just had to put a little bitty napkin right here. We're live. Things happen when you're live. So he basically is trying to get some kind of information about the girls that were around Kylie Rodni. And they're young girls. They're very young girls. So let's go to the comments section and let's take a look at what's happening down here. And look at this insanity. Look at this shit. So he says, the truth about the BS... Oh, yeah. So he says, the truth about the BS in regards to Squirrel Girl, CCTV, Squirrels on Fire, and Kevin Neese. I was the one that buried the hatchet in a previous falling out with Squirrel Girl already from 3 months ago. Why are you using Kylie Rodni's fucking name in this? This is not a Kylie Rodni update. You don't have eyes everywhere other than the people who you're peeping in through their windows at, Jeff. You have a problem, buddy. Then she came back to my channel and played nice and became a member so she could watch my videos early and steal intel before it went public. Intel? You don't have intel. You do not have intel. You sound like a weirdo. Oh, you've got some intel there, Jeff. You got some intel, don't you? And left nice comments. I did nothing. I let it be. I didn't ban her. But then she got a hold of Nick, or so she says. Not sure I believe it. And did the interview that wasn't an interview. I got a hold of her. I apologize. She owed me one, but I did that anyway, and it worked out. She said she gave Nick my video, blah, blah, blah. I went ahead and emailed CC and Squirrel on Fire. They lied about the truck numbers. Squirrel got me. Squirrel Girl told me she was using an app. She has not showed me or anyone any proof that she spoke to Nick. You haven't shown proof on anything that you've said, bro, so I don't know what you're talking about, but you wouldn't be able to because everything you do is a LARP to make money off Kylie Rodni's name, and you know it. They tried to feed me false intel on the AAA roadside thing, and it was my plan. You see these guys? You see the way they think? This is an adult. He's playing some weird high school LARP games on YouTube. This dude's an adult, and he takes this so seriously that he thinks he's a spy. He thinks he's some kind of secret government agent. So long story short, I did more than my share to bring us all together as a community, and they lied about me stealing videos. No, you did steal things from people, but they do too. So really, you guys, like, you're going out and getting information off the internet. You're not reporters. So you don't get to sit and say what you're saying here. Just because you found a video, you found some detail that you're going to go and put out on your channel, but then they also covered it, makes them stealing from you or you stealing from them. No, bro. You're acting like some kind of freaking, you know, YouTube 14-year-old here. Anyway, Squirrel Girl. Now this, he did threaten, if anyone has where he threatened to dox Squirrel Girl, put it in the bottom of general. I just don't have it. I put it out on Twitter. Here, let me go grab it from my Twitter. So if you want to know what this deal is with Squirrel Girl, even though it doesn't matter whatsoever, and it's ridiculous drama, it's actually cringy and kind of funny to laugh at. So yeah, YouTubeback Jeff says, I'll give you 12 hours from the time you get this text to get all those slanderous BS videos off CC's channel. Every single one of them, and Squirrel's on fire. And your channel, Jeff. It's too late, buddy. Everybody now on the entire YouTube community, they're going to be talking about you, okay? Lauren, no, I'm your #1 fan, and thank you for giving me a super chat, because it reminds me to tell you to hit the like button, subscribe button, and it's really important if you want to support us. I didn't even tag it. Support us on PayPal. I'll put my PayPal link right there and pin it. So if you can, it would really help out, but it is optional. Okay. Listen to what he says. Every single video you've ever made about me or even mentioned my name in, dude, I've got way more of a reach than all of them put together, buddy. So you don't have to worry. Their videos aren't going to matter anymore. Otherwise, your face, your real name, and everything about you will go on YouTube tomorrow. Are we clear? So Jeff is not just a doxer. He's a doxer that tries to intimidate the women around him and then threaten to show their faces, their addresses, and all their details. Now, I have tagged Team YouTube on Twitter on 3 posts, and I hate to ask you, but the only way we're going to get Team YouTube to pay attention to any of this, I have sent it to them too, but it does help if you go to my Twitter at Unirock TV and go under my tweets where I'm tagging Team YouTube and tag Team YouTube also, and then say something that you want to say. How is this allowed on the platform? Why are these people allowed to be monetized? This is disgusting. Whatever you want to say, however you feel. There is one other tweet that I tagged Team YouTube with that I will not go into tonight here on my show, because the people that it involves are so desperate for content and attention that they literally would love me to mention them. So what I want you to do, there's a creator out there who's been doxing. Kiki, thank you, Unirock. Appreciate you, and thanks for your service. Well, hey, right back at you, Kiki. Thank you, too. Very kind of you to support us. But what I want you to do, though, if you know about these creators that threaten to drive to people's homes and, you know, do things to them, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Drive to people's homes and do things to them and stuff, and they threaten them. What happened is a video that just came out where they literally are sharing someone's phone number to dox them on YouTube in a stream, and then they try to get rid of the stream real quick. Well, guess what happened? Enough people finally reported the stream while it was live, and it got hit with a community strike. That creator now has that video locked in place. So if we go to Team YouTube and you make a lot of noise, the noise would be to tag Team YouTube and ask them to review what we're giving them. And remember, if they respond with some algorithmic response, we have to keep doing it until we get through to a human. But because there is a community strike locked in on that, on him trying to dox somebody's phone number to all of his, you know, disgusting followers, now YouTube has that video locked in place. They don't have to go pull from servers to look at deleted stuff, and they don't have that time, that extra time that it takes them to be able to watch the video if it was deleted or whatever. And essentially, because the algorithm has already identified that video as a community strike, now that video is prime for us to go to YouTube and actually be able to get a result here. My tweet says, why are these people still monetized or even not just deleted if they're going to dox people against TOS like this so often? This is exactly what we need to get things moving. So please consider, if you're on Twitter, go underneath my tweets, look for where I've tagged Team YouTube, which should be 3 different tweets, and please reply to them, heart them, share them. If you're in a Discord server, ask other people to do this. We should be able to get a good number of these doxers off the platform very soon if you guys keep on with me, okay? Now, I just read you Jeff, who has outed himself as an abhorrent doxer, an abhorrent blackmailer, an abhorrent intimidator. Jeff, this is going straight to Team YouTube, buddy. At Unirock TV on Twitter. So I hope you end up stopping this shit real soon before it's too late. Get on it, and I don't want to hear about your BS that you can't control your stupid little friends. Get it done. You've got 12 hours, and I don't want to hear a reply to this message. I want to see those videos gone in 12 hours, all of them. He is so afraid of people finding out what he's been doing that he is threatening and blackmailing other YouTubers. So this is big. Now, you'll ask yourself then, what is he up to? What is he doing? What do they know? What do they know that's got him so scared? It is something that scares him enough that he will do whatever he can do here. Because they ended up contacting his quote-unquote private detective. You know that private eye we were talking about last night? These YouTubers got a hold of that PI, and they asked the PI how much money Jeff had given him. Relatively nothing. So last night, if you didn't watch my stream, we had found a FraudRaiser being run that was saying that they needed money to hire a PI and a lawyer and a team to get justice for KIELY RODNI. After putting out conspiracy theories to try to get their audience to believe falsities about the KIELY RODNI case and believe there's a possibility that it's still continuing, that it's still open, or that the government's hiding something on KIELY. And that is exactly what they're doing. So we went to the website because he's not using GoFundMe. He created his own website because he knows if he uses GoFundMe, there's more of a chance of him having people get refunds or having him get in trouble if somebody files to the GoFundMe Trust and Safety team when they realize that he's defrauding them. So he made his own website and he's collecting money through PayPal and credit cards there. What I did was look at the website to see if it's a website that actively updates to show you how much money he's making, or if it's just a filler fake website to try to make it look legit that he's taking in this money. And checking the code of that website while live in real time, I showed you the proof that it is a fake website. We have absolute 100% confirmation this man is using KIELY RODNI's death and name to run a FraudRaiser, and using the money he's taking in from these people. The only thing that we can prove he actually did with any of the money so far, and it's not 100%, but it's very, very close, is running background checks and doxing KIELY RODNI's young female friends, 18 and under. Navy, how is this dude not a massive creeper? How? How is he not? He absolutely is.
You know, the thing is this, is that he is pushing this into Christmas time, right? And the holidays and all this kind of stuff. And you're talking about like the most sensitive time for these families and these friends and stuff like that to have to spend this first year without her.
Yep.
And he's pushing the fact that not only, you know, the case is closed from everything we've seen, right? The case is closed, ruled accidental, right? And he wants to come out there and drag her name through it again and make up some fucking conspiracy that everybody, including her family and friends, must be ignoring because of what? AAA? I mean, come on now. This is just horrid.
It's just gross. One thing I'm going to do really quick, where I tag Team YouTube, I'm going to retweet this to the top of my channel, of my @Unirock TV Twitter channel, okay? So I've got basically two tagging Team YouTube. Let me hide the name of this creator right here, so you can't see it. There. Now, these two tweets, they should be at the top, are where I need you to retweet. I need you to go here and then put @Team YouTube. And if you want, you can just say something similar to what I'm saying or whatever you want. This is the one that Jeff did, but this is the most important one right here. And I'm only not showing you the whole tweet because I don't want to focus attention on this person, but I would love for you guys to help me do this because it's going to keep our platform safe. It's going to show these doxing creators that if they're going to do this to people, there's going to be consequences. And we're going to take time out of our, video production and our schedule because they are targeting other creators. It doesn't even matter about me. They haven't targeted me in a long time because they realize that they're not going to get through to me. It's not going to stop me. It's not going to affect me to the slightest degree. So they've went around and trying to attack other people. And in order to help people that haven't been on the platform long, who are literally scared, even that Squirrel Girl having this happen from Jeff has caused her, from what I've heard, to want to stop making videos on the platform. So all of these people are the same. Once they've gone so far as to threaten like this, then they need to be banned. It's just, it has to happen. This is not some viewer going around joking. This is a creator trying to protect a scam and the money they're making by lying to people on the platform, okay? So let's get into more of these comments so that you can kind of listen to what Jeff is saying. He says, I never lied. I never stole their video. I never made bash videos or defamation videos about any of them. But you did about RODNI, which is even worse. Or any videos that matter. I've never left my channel to defend myself. Look at this. Look at how scared this guy is. Look at how freaked out. He's leaving on these people that are leaving these tiny things here. This is how, I mean, this dude's whacked out. This dude is straight up whacked out. He says, I also find it funny they tried to make me look like a scammer. It backfired in their faces. It didn't backfire in anyone's face. Are you kidding me? Now, the police and Team YouTube are going to have what you're doing in their hands. They are going to have that in your hands. What the fuck is this? Tell me this is you, Jeff. Okay. See, listen, Jeff, there's a big difference in you taking money in RODNI's name and somebody else taking money for something else. When you do a fundraiser, it's all about what you tell people the money's going to go for. That's what it's about. And then whether you use that money for that. We already know you didn't use that money to hire a lawyer and a private investigator and that you have been lying about what you're doing with RODNI. So, Jeff, this is just the last time you're going to be able to do this. You have gone way too far with all of this. And you know it's crashing down on you, not other people, because now all the creators out on YouTube are starting to look at you. All the creators that have been around for a long time, all the communities out there, they're really mad about what you're doing to KIELY. Because we see KIELY, basically we see our daughters, we see our cousins, we see people in our family and our friends, and how someone like you could do this to anyone in the world. You are an evil person, Jeff, all around. You don't owe us anything, Jethro. Take your time and do this right and protect the integrity of your investigation. I'm sorry, but you are out of your mind if you're a real account. You guys, these are the kind of people that get fooled by people like Jeff. Just thought I would let people see of the things that is useless to me right now, but something no one has seen. Cheers. How does that make sense, Jeff? It's not useless to you when you're leaving entire books in response. Molly's done and has no context. She blocked her own patrons. She knows what is coming. Well, we've got some Molly stuff here in a little bit. I don't know about, I haven't heard about that yet. I'll keep my eyes open, but we do have some Molly stuff here after we handle Jeff here.
So I'm being told in the live chat by Charlotte Green Trueseeker that the sheriff's department put out something where the investigation is still ongoing.
That's fine if the investigation is ongoing or not. The point of the matter with KIELY is people like Jeff on YouTube taking money in KIELY's name needs to go to the police and it needs to go to YouTube, regardless. And regardless of that, they could have reopened the investigation. They could have closed it. It could have been misreported. There's 100 things. But we need to get to the part of what he's showing in the house. I'm looking for it. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, hold on. He admits to what he's doing with this video in one of these replies. That's what I'm looking for. I think it's this one. I don't have time to watch and pretend I'm concerned about them when I'm literally hunting a human trafficker right now. You are hunting a human trafficker on YouTube.
Oh, Lord.
You have admitted in your last video, Jeff, that you don't know what you're doing and this is your first investigation. You don't have a degree, do you? Do you have any type of training? Do you have any type of, how do we know you're not just saying these things so you can get money out of what you're doing? How do we know you're not just lying to get money? Because it really seems like you're just lying to get money. He goes on, if they weren't allowed about me, my integrity, and why I have confidence that I'll get closer to the truth than anyone on this, and that's why they hate me, I'm doing something they can't do. I have a team mostly consisting of women now. They are kicking the guys' butts at PI work. Okay. You said you hired a private investigator and paid them with the money that you took in, okay? So we're interested in the money that you've raised in KIELY's name. We're not interested in you claiming that women are your PIs. We know that the person that you said was your PI got contacted by people and they came back and proved that you only paid them like $300, but you've raised thousands in KIELY's name. So now you're trying to change the narrative, move the goalposts, and say that your detectives are women and they're kicking the guy's butt. See, I think the reason you're saying that is so that you fool people into thinking that the PI who you said you were paying in your fundraiser now is different. So people, when they hear about the claim from the PI that you didn't give him the money you said you were giving him, and you only gave him a couple $100, and that's why he didn't do anything else for you, you can use the excuse that you have other PIs. So it's not going to work, Jeff. This is the wrong one. Let's see if we can find it here. I don't know. Did he delete it? I replied to it. I think she's more of a friend of KIELY's. That okay. Nice house too. Too bad it's full of snakes. I think she's more of a friend of KIELY's that regrets going along with something and wasn't aware it was going to result in KIELY's death. And then he catches himself and or disappearance, right? You know that there's a thing called DNA, right? There's a thing called DNA. So how are you going to reconcile the fact that the police have KIELY's body, that her body was not there long enough to where it would damage the DNA or stop them from making dental identification? Are you going to say that the police are lying and they're trying to, you know, Navy, fill me in here. Is he going to try to say that the police can't use dental identification on KIELY, that they can't use DNA, or that they're covering up that KIELY's still alive? What is he trying to do? How does this make sense?
And it sounds like he's going to start claiming that like all the agencies, like all the law enforcement, are in on some big conspiracy to hide what truly happened to this girl, and it's going to get sick because that's what you're going to have to do. Because you're right, like they got dental records, they got DNA, they've got, you know, everything they can from what they found, unfortunately. And there's just no way.
Hold on. Mods, just kick the trolls out for me, please. Okay, go ahead, Navy. Sorry. I lost my thought for a second. Yeah, there's no way that he's going to be able to show without going down some crazy conspiracy rabbit hole that everyone's working together to hide what truly happened to this girl. But it sounds like that's where he's going, and that's sick. So why would it be appropriate in any capacity for him to put out one of KIELY's friends' homes and show him driving by it like this? He didn't even go there, knock on the door, talk to anybody. He just creeped by. He's a fucking creeper. Like, how is it appropriate to record their home and then upload it on his channel? What does it prove? What does it show?
No, it's just him being cringy. The person who blocked was not a troll. They were talking about Jeff.
No, for some reason, you know, look, if they want to reach out and send us some proof of something, they can. I'm not doing this like this thing where people spam a bunch of stuff into the chat claiming, you know, this or claiming that. Just send it in if you got something to send us. I'm not unbanning anybody. I'm sorry. So also, not only do we have him driving by the home and showing the home, the Dead Squirrel Productions is him making a threat to the people who have criticized him. As you see, the people that criticized him, one's called Squirrels on Fire and another is Squirrel Girl. Or maybe they're the same person and they just have two different nicknames. Either way, there's a Squirrel Girl. I've actually tagged her channel. I've been to her channel. I've seen it. We're going to go there in a minute. And so he put, of course, Dead Squirrel Productions. So he's the type of person that likes to not make a direct threat because he's a coward, but he will make a kind of implied threat, right? So we've got all of this stacked. This should, if this guy in any capacity was professional enough or just minded enough to where he could do any type of real investigation to help Kylie or help the subject, he wouldn't be doing any of these things. None of these things. Got me? Yeah. Oh no, I'm not unbanning anybody. Sorry. Not till after the show. If you have an issue with the ban, you hit us up after the show. That's how it works here. So the one thing I want to show people, though, is how these people have been using Kylie's name to make money. And we want to look at the recent videos, because if you go back to 3 months ago, it was okay. It was like all right to kind of present what the situation was. We didn't have any concrete information. After we had a body, after we have the different techniques that the police use to identify a body, on top of the fact that she's in her own car, where we have video evidence of her going into the river, right? You'd have to overcome that with some kind of logic or proof before you can start espousing that Kylie is still alive, or that Kylie is, you know, I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying you have to have some form of logic that would represent why are the police saying that they found her body, that it was in the car, that the body matched, the initial findings matched that it is Kylie, right? That, you know, those things have to be overcome with logic before you can move to saying she's still alive or saying that there's some other explanation going on, right? So let's go just this week. You know what? Let's start with today, I guess. And you're going to see a lot of Adventures with Purpose stuff too. It's all linked together. In fact, Kylie was trending on Twitter today. We're going to show you that here in a minute. So Adventures with Purpose released full interview with Nick Tow Truck Guy, Kylie RODNI case. Navy, do you think that Adventures with Purpose is causing... Okay, so remember when Adventures with Purpose came out, they had said that they weren't going to make money in this situation. Right. You recall that? Right. They said they're not going to take money. They're not going to... They're there to kind of find the body or to help law enforcement with additional resources. And once they find the body, they move on to a different... case. Well, yep. People are claiming a lot of things about Adventures with Purpose on Twitter. We're going to go look at it in a minute. One of the things they're claiming is that they are trying to make money now in some way off the Kylie RODNI case. And the thing is, I tried to look into this and see where it was coming from. From the tweets and posts that I've seen, they don't link to anything from Adventures with Purpose, so I can't consider it or Adventures with Purpose doing this. If I just have someone saying it's happening, I need to actually see where Adventures with Purpose did this instead. So basically, if any of you have that, let us know. Let us know where it is. Let our mods know, and we'll go to it. But I want to find out where people are claiming that Adventures with Purpose, they're trying to get money out of the Kylie situation. That was one claim. Another one is, I mean, there's just a lot of claims out there. We'll go to Twitter and I'll actually go through them because I'm going to remember them wrong if I don't, okay? So then there's a lot of talk about this Nick guy, and we're going to look into that here in a little bit. Let's discuss this new information. Okay. Kylie RODNI update 2022. So this is Jeff. This is Jeff, right? Is Jeff, I wonder if Jeff is a truck driver. You know, you notice that truck drivers on YouTube, they tend to be very kind of doxing kind of people for some reason.
Yeah, right.
Was this Kylie screaming? Who really heard it? What? KIELY. Okay, so that's a different one, right? That's a different story, yeah. Oh,
yeah, we saw that one earlier. That's what the guy that faked the audio.
So we've got the Squirrel Girl video with Magnum PI. This is in relation to Jeff. Actually, let's take a look at this and watch it together. I'm gonna grab my charger really quick. Good. Exactly what I want to see here. So Magnum PI. If we go to Jeff's what was Jeff's site here? Let me find it. Okay, so here's Jeff's site. So Magnum PI is right here. So he talks about once he started, he hasn't updated this in a while because supposedly he has paid Magnum PI something, and that's what Squirrel Girl and the others, of course, are talking about that upset Jeff. So just so that we're all on the same page, he says, I have to write checks to his investigator Magnum PI. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Magnum PI on the case. Here we go. Squirrel Girl talks to Magnum PI, asked for receipts for payments made with FraudRaiser money. Why? I don't care. I don't care what Jeff is trying to do. I don't care if he's trying to end world hunger or cure cancer. You don't do a fundraiser in KIELY RODNI's name. And if you guys know of anyone other than Jeff that's raising money like this in KIELY RODNI's name, give it to me so that I can get it to some local authorities down in her area all at the same time. I'd like to turn in any of the people that are doing this at the same time.
Hey guys, it's Squirrel Girl. It is Friday afternoon, about 2:17 p.m. East Coast time. And I'm driving, so I'm hoping that you can hear me. I have my radio down and stuff, so hopefully you can hear me. Couple things I wanted to say in this video. First of all, I will never, ever apologize or feel like I was wrong in defending myself against any man or someone that calls himself a man that uses the type of language that he used towards me, including today, after I have endured 7 days of being texted personally by this man.
This is just yesterday. Just yesterday.
And today he called me pathetic. Pathetic. Now, all of us have reasons for being interested in the pursuit of justice for people.
Listen, you guys need to get your heads out of your asses. You need to go to college, okay? You actually need to be educated on how to get justice, how to do an investigation. It's not something you can play a LARP on YouTube doing, okay? Yeah, you can investigate things on the internet, but when you say you're going to try to solve a case that's in, you know, the real world, that's not on the internet or something, it's cringy. Maybe your tiny little community of 10,000, 15,000 people don't find it cringy and they're kind of invested in this kind of thing. That is such a small percentage of people that are out there. This is a very extremist kind of ideology to say that you don't need any training. You don't need to be able to be accountable to anybody. You don't have to be accountable to someone who checks you and makes sure that you're doing this the right way, which is literally the structure we have for investigators and police officers. And while they do make a lot of mistakes, bad things constantly happen, still, don't tell me you'd be able to do it any better. Especially, look at what's going on here. Look at the way Jeff is treating you. This is why you don't LARP as an investigator for a murder. You don't just play the LARP. And by the way, the majority of all of you, including Jeff, are sitting in front of a computer. You're sitting in front of a computer and pretending. You're not out there doing anything. You don't have any type of science that you can use to actually check what you're doing. You're literally just going off of tiny little posts that are out there, and you try to build those posts into something mysterious, present it on YouTube in the hope someone will watch it so you can make money off the views, because you can't get them any other way. It's why you're using Kylie's name and constantly doing this. So the first thing is, sit down and hard think what you've been doing. Ask yourself, can you really solve something on the internet like this that's happened in real life? Or are you going to be restricted to the stuff that's in the internet behind your computer? The things you can do with a phone, the things you can do by looking things up, right?
And I bet I am right
That'd be
when
the
I say
first
that it's
step.
because most of us have been victims in some way, shape, or form that have given us a heart of compassion to care about people that are treated unfairly. Am I right for you? Do you care about others because you know the pain that you have endured in your life because you were not protected, you were not defended, no one cared to stick up for you?
Well, I'm just saying, by you kind of rubbing elbows, I respect what you just said, but by you rubbing elbows with people like Jeff, you're just opening yourself up to more of this treatment. Like, if you sat down and talked to somebody and got some advice from someone who has a kind of like level thought process, who isn't invested in this kind of stuff, I think they'd give you the same advice.
You weren't able to stick up for yourself? Or maybe you were, and you have the strength to stick up for others. There are reasons why we are here.
Listen, it's nice to be able to want to feel as if you're doing something. One of the main problems with social media, which posting YouTube videos is included, is you're not going to be able to do anything in real life using social media, other than in rare circumstances. That's what's called virtue signaling. And I'm not going to say that's what you're doing, because I think you really mean what you're saying. I just don't know if the method... It's like trying to say that you wearing a shirt that says, I hate this politician. Does it really do anything to help with the politics that are going on? No, it just shows people that you hate that politician. So I think that maybe looking at a little bit of the logic behind what you think happens from the videos you upload or the communities you participate in, it might help you kind of center yourself.
So I live what I consider a life with very high boundaries, and I do not put up with any type of abuse in my life at all.
Well, I'm going to give you a piece of advice then, because I believe you. You have let your boundaries down, and that is why Jeff was able to do what he did to you. You shouldn't let your boundaries down to where strangers on the internet are given access to you in that way, okay?
Whatsoever, and that took me over 4 decades to learn how to do, and it was not easy. Because when you don't know what abuse even is, you think you deserve it.
Well, Jeff is an abusive person, and I have the proof of his abuse on my Twitter. I just read it. Threatening to put out your face, your address, all of your details because you said something he didn't like. The man gets triggered off of things that people say on the internet. I mean, he's pretty hardcore. He's pretty much a hardcore lolcow. He's a pretty hardcore cringe lord. All right. And even outside of that, he's a hardcore conspiracy theorist. The problem is, I think that a lot of the people in this community are going to turn out to be hardcore conspiracy theorists.
Because it's your normal. I know what is normal and what is not normal. And I know what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So part of me bringing out things that he said to me were to illustrate to others the signs of an abusive personality. Because
we knew he was abusive from the moment that he started to abuse Kylie's situation, abuse Kylie's family. No thought process toward Kylie's situation and her family with the content that he's doing. I think that's an indicator of a red flag there. I think for anyone that's doing that kind of content, it's an indicator for a red flag.
maybe they have someone in their life that treats them that way, and they just think it's normal. When you are raised around abuse, physical, sexual, emotional, whatever the type, you go into adulthood and you think that it's normal because you were raised around it. And then, for some reason, you realize that it's not normal, and that's how you can change things.
I completely agree. I think therapy really helps because at the same time, it teaches you how there are boundaries that you learn, and there are things you learn to change in your life. And one thing that a therapist does, because a therapist has gone to school for a long period of time and they know how to be able to bring you not just a realization to those things, but also solutions at the same time, so that you don't have to move forward and learn for years, making mistakes that open yourself up to more abuse, you have the tools in front of you to preempt them and to put a boundary in front of yourself to where it can't affect you.
So I will never
Right.
apologize for what many of you consider as being drama. Drama is purposeful or unnecessary, emotionally charged situations.
I agree, but I also believe that anybody who isn't being realistic and who isn't being completely factual in the way they handle the Kiely Rodni situation is confusing investigations. What it really is YouTube drama, but they're trying to dress it as an investigation. Oh, I'm going to tell you about a black box in a car and how it might affect the Kiely Rodni investigation. Well, okay, that'd be great content until you start to imply conspiracies while you're doing it, or until you start to imply that someone's lying while you're doing it. Instead of implying those things, which is the YouTube drama aspect, you'd have to give logic to how it is a realistic thing to bring up. Now, the problem is that you're not going to be able to do that as someone sitting on YouTube unless you've interviewed the detectives or the police officers who intercepted that box and gave you information off of it, or maybe gave you details about the investigation. And I don't know if it's been long enough since what happened with Kiely in order for them to start giving out information like that. I don't even know if they will in the end.
To create a result. So what I consider to be drama in the community here online is when people make things up, stage things, exploit things because they are trying to get attention by others, maybe
That's exactly why the Kiely Rodni content that doesn't go from a factual basis is not an investigation or truth. It is drama. Thank you for making my argument.
monetary donations, sympathy, or what have you. Defending yourself, however, and for me, I have not, will not, ever exploit anyone for money. Period.
I hope not. I hope not.
So comparing me defending myself and my name against serious accusations is my right, and quite frankly, it is my duty. Because by being complacent and allowing it to happen would be influencing others to say it's okay for somebody to say things about you that are not true, and you should.
You know, I'm with you to a degree. Sure. Let's let you talk some more before I weigh in here.
Just lie down and take it. There are graceful ways, responsible ways to handle it. I dealt with Jeff directly with everything. And
You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have dealt with him directly at all. From clicking on his content, hearing the way that he is so wrong with how he logically looks at the investigations and what he can do online himself, and how he's clickbaiting, trying to get attention using Kiely's situation and name, and the way he's doing it. He's not doing it in a factual way. He's doing it in a conspiratorial way. Right there, you should have never reached out to him at all. You need to be able to recognize this in the future. If you see content creators running conspiracy theories about dead 16-year-old girls trying to make money off them, they're probably abusive people. They're probably crazy. They're probably doxers. A lot of those things. Because I'm going to tell you, regardless of how they try to present themselves to you, in reality, they really are doing those things for a reason. All the fluff is to confuse people into thinking that they're not trying to make money off of Kiely. No, I'm really doing an investigation. I'm really hiring PIs. Why do you need to hire PIs when there's an entire police force assigned to handle this? We don't even have that answer from Jeff. He doesn't need your money to hire these PIs. He could just use, if anything, if he was really doing any kind of real job, he'd be able to contact the police and get the data that they've collected and try to, help out. The problem is they would want him to go through college. They would want him to have, when they hire people to do this work, they don't just hire some dude who's been running conspiracy theories for 10 years on YouTube, lying to people and trying to make money with conspiracy theories. They're going to hire someone that's gone to college, done work, actually done a job for years to be able to get to the position of detective. You see what I'm saying? Or that is enough training to be able to be hired as a detective, and they're not going to use Jeff. So what Jeff is doing is, because Jeff can't go out and earn a wage actually investigating this because he is too dumb to go to college and get a degree, and he doesn't know how to be able to go to work and be on time and do what he's got to do to actually be able to be a part of the people that help Kiely, right? Or anyone who gets injured. He's going to LARP and play the role on YouTube and try to get you to give him money while doing it. You get me, you
And when he
got
would
me,
not
you good me.
respond to removing posts where he doxed me or removing his claims and requests for people to harass two people, I chose to go onto my
You don't, look, when someone doxes you like this, you contact Team YouTube. There's a way to handle doxers. You contact Team YouTube. Oh yeah, I know, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to get anything done in that respect because there are tens of thousands of people doing this every day on YouTube, and there's probably 3,000 people at YouTube that are going to handle anything, and that's probably an exaggeration. There's probably less. So I'm sorry. The minute he starts doxing you, why would you... You okay? Sure? She was coughing. The minute that he doxes you, you should be filing a police report, number one. You should be protecting your family. You take the threats that he's lobbed at you and make sure that you're protected, right? I mean, you just talked about not letting abusers get away with this. If you don't do these things, now you're taking it as serious, right? The threats he made to you, obviously, by how you're speaking. Okay. So if you are, you should be doing that. File a report and then take that report and get it to Team YouTube. Fill out the forms you have to fill out. And then for months, you're going to have to watch for them to reply to you. And it's going to be a long process. They're going to need a lot more stuff from you. They're going to need a lot more communication, a lot more reports filled out. And after a few months of you working with them, maybe it'll take a day, maybe it'll take a week. Most likely it's going to take a few months of you working with them. And you might get a result to where he is banned and he can't do this anymore. Now, if he really did dox you and this isn't some game, you would think you would have already done that, right?
my platform to get that message across. That was not about being dramatic. I do not need anyone's sympathy. I do not need anyone defending me.
Yes, you do. If you got doxed, you deserve the sympathy as someone who's been targeted and abused by Jeff. If you've been threatened by Jeff, you deserve the sympathy. You also deserve help in getting Team YouTube and YouTube to respond. Come into this community, not just clean out Jeff, but clean out anyone that's using KIELY Rodney's name to profit. And then also the police precinct down there that handled this investigation need to know individually which YouTubers are doing this, and they need to make sure that this stops because this is inappropriate. You didn't know KIELY Rodney. Jeff is out there making money off of KIELY Rodney's name when KIELY Rodney's own parents refused to. So he obviously isn't serious about what he's doing, or he would have done that. He would at least said, okay, listen, I'm going to do this out of my own pocket. Because KIELY Rodney's family isn't even taking money from people. There were people across the United States that wanted to send Gabby Petito and KIELY Rodney's parents lots of money. If you go look at what they put out, they refused it and wanted it to go to foundations to help more kids. And that's a fact. But you're telling me it's appropriate for Jeff to raise money in her name? It's not. It's absolutely not. And there needs to be... This all needs cleaned out. This all needs cleaned off the platform. It's not even... This isn't free speech. Free speech is not lying to people that you're doing an investigation to get justice for conspiracies you've created for a 16-year-old girl who died. That's not free speech. Free speech is you giving your opinion about the girl dying, or giving your opinion about what's going on, or speaking about what's happening. That's free speech, right?
I do not need anyone's attention.
Well, you got it, whether you need it or not.
I appreciate people that have defended me, and I
Well, good. Okay, great. That's what we want to hear.
appreciate the encouragement and the relationships that I have formed, but that is not my purpose.
I'm not going to form a relationship with you. I'm just going to tell you straight out. I don't want a relationship with you. I don't want anything with you. I'm not being rude. I'm saying that we've got actual work to do. We're not LARPing like Jeff. We've got things we need to accomplish. We also need to get the what is happening out to more YouTube communities, because that's the only way we're going to get the attention of YouTube and of other people that can actually come in and solve something here. So unfortunately, it would be inappropriate for us to start some like relationship or whatever, friendship. You know what I'm saying? Friendship. It'd be inappropriate. Maybe after it's done, we could all talk and hang out or something. I don't know.
To be here on YouTube. One thing that I have really noticed over these past few weeks, and that I am learning, is the power of influence. Because even though I don't consider this a YouTube channel or that I'm a creator, I have influence.
Well, whether you consider it or not, it's too late. Got 8,000 subs. You could hold the opinion that 8,000 people don't matter, but unfortunately, it's just not true. 8,000 people do matter.
And I have to be very careful with that influence. And I also
That's good. I'm glad you said that. I'm literally think that's great.
believe that there's a reason that I'm on this platform. There's a reason that you're listening to this right now.
I agree completely. I think there's a reason that we're here. I think that if we don't start trying to use YouTube's resources to solve these things, more and more people like Molly GoLightly, YouTube Jeff, LB, and others are going to keep abusing these kind of stories on the platform for their own personal gain. I completely agree.
I don't know what that reason is, but I'm not going to fight any feelings of being compelled to share my thoughts or feelings ever.
Shouldn't. You shouldn't. That's what free speech is. Even if you hold a shitty opinion, you should be able to get up there and say it. You shouldn't be able to take that shitty opinion, purposely curb it to include a dead 16-year-old and make money off of it on the platform.
I'm afraid someone's going to accuse me or think that I'm being dramatic. I'm going to continue to be me.
I don't think you're dramatic if you've been doxxed and targeted by Jeff and if you're being honest. If you want to give the opinion that Jeff's a scammer, he should respect that just as much as anyone that wants to give their opinion that Kiely Rodni might be alive. And I'm okay with you having an opinion that Kiely is still alive. I'm not okay with you lying, ignoring evidence, or doing any of those other things, not speaking directly to her. I don't know if she's done that. I haven't seen any of her other videos.
I'm going to speak when I feel like I'm being compelled to speak about whatever issue I feel like talking about. And if you don't like that, then you can just not listen or you can unsubscribe.
Completely agreed. Great.
So with this issue with Jeff, I feel that it is appropriate for me to share information that I now have regarding whether or not he scams people.
I agree. You should be able to share that information openly. Jeff should be, if he's not scamming people, Jeff would be perfectly fine with it. As long as you're willing to hear what he has to say in response. And if you're wrong or if something is incorrect or whatever, you're willing to update it. You're willing to be honest about it going forward, then there shouldn't be these types of attempts. A doxing attempt is what happens when a scammer knows that you're on to their scam and they don't want that to get out, so that people like myself or people that creators that go around busting scams on the platform don't notify large groups of people that it's happened, because they know that once those people are notified, that we will have the power to get the authorities and YouTube and the platforms involved in doing something. Because as much as it was a crime of the shame of what happened to Kiely Rodni, as much as it's a, what's the word? Not a crime, not as much as it's a, it's something we don't want to happen. We also think it's wrong what happened to Kiely Rodni, and things could have been done to prevent it, whether it is what the police say it is, which is an accident, or whether maybe somebody's correct that it's not an accident and it was something else. Of course, you'd have to defer to the police before you could go there and defer to the information they have and debunk it, or else you're just bullshitting at that point. But anyway, as much as that's wrong, Jeff is also wrong. He's wrong on a very extreme level. I think Jeff has underestimated the wrongness of where he is just with this page. Just with this page. This alone, Jeff's already wrong. It's already done, and he's already getting his shit turned over. It's already going to the precinct where they found Kiely Rodni with a report about how this stuff needs to be stopped, and the police need to speak their voice so that YouTube can hear it and so that the media can hear it, and we can get attention to where this kind of thing stops in the future. Got me?
I have heard many people saying it was a scam. I have heard people saying that.
No, it is a scam. Let me help you real quick. I'll show you that it's a scam right now, okay? That way I don't have to do this 100 times. So first off, using Kiely Rodni's name, you should also be respectful while doing it. You should be logical, you should be careful, and you should be mindful that at any time, the family of Kiely Rodni, especially with it being the first Christmas that she's gone, could be looking around on platforms and seeing what's going on. It's putting Kiely Rodni's stuff on screwgofundme.org is the first reason why it's disrespectful, completely inappropriate, what Jeff's done. But let's not even look at that, because that's an argument of how he's behaving. Let's look at why he's not using a crowdfunding website like GoFundMe. He obviously has an issue with GoFundMe, but there are many other crowdfunding websites, and they offer you an ability to track the amount of money that comes in, track the money that goes out, and it offers you an ability for someone who's scamming to have a trust and safety department that can get the police involved automatically, and along with people to get refunds that'll automatically go through GoFundMe. So if he was on GoFundMe and you realize Jeff's been lying to you, you go to GoFundMe and you file a report. You're going to get your money back. GoFundMe is going to pay you. They're not going to take it from Jeff. They're going to pay you. Then GoFundMe's Trust and Safety is going to go to Jeff and they're going to say, okay, Jeff, we've had to hand back $2,000. You owe that to us because you lied. Here's why, blah, blah, blah. Jeff obviously is scamming. He's going to ignore them or tell them to fuck off or whatever. And they're going to have to go to their connection to the police, which they have set up at the Trust and Safety Department of the major websites that do take money for crowdfunding, connections to police departments so that they can prepare everything and hand it directly to the police so that the police do not have to do an enormous amount of initial work. They already have a formula in place. They have reports in place. They have a way for it to automatically go to the police so that the police aren't burdened with the initial work. They've already set up the infrastructure would be the word. People like Jeff don't want to use the crowdfunding platforms because you're not going to be able to use the Trust and Safety already connected and infrastructured, if you will, to the police. And that will be lacking and it'll make it harder for people who he's scamming to get their money back, right? Also, Jeff goes here and says he's not going to be able to give you money back because he's going to be paying for this stuff. In order for that to be the case, he would have to be able to prove how much money he took in and to prove that he paid the money. But because he hasn't taken this through GoFundMe or a different site that would track the amount of money, no one's ever going to know whether Jeff is pocketing cash or not. So Jeff is already completely screwed the pooch, if you will, just by doing this as opposed to the appropriate thing. Why do the appropriate thing? Jeff doesn't have to do the appropriate thing. It's a free country. Well, true. But when you don't do the appropriate thing, you're disrespecting the family. You're disrespecting KIELY. And you're disrespecting the donators. You're disrespecting the people that want justice or something done, whatever it may be. Those people are auto-disrespected from the grip, from the jump, from the get-go, as we say. With Jeff making these decisions. I could speak for another 40 minutes about how Jeff is conning all of you, but I think I've given enough just there. Let's get back to it.
That from the beginning, it is a scam. Before I chose to work with his private investigator or with Jeff, I made sure that he had a private investigator. I legitimized his private.
That's nice, but I would hope that you're going to tell us how you did that, and I would hope you would be able to, if you can't show us some form of evidence that you have done that, you at least will explain what the evidence is so that we have some claim that you've put out that would lead us to believe you're being real or that you've effectively, and no, I'm not saying you'd be dishonest there. Maybe you just don't understand the length you have to go to factually to be able to confirm that Jeff did hire the private investigator or not. And no, this is not towards you. This is anybody. So we'll see what you say, but you have to understand, we may be able to determine that Jeff didn't pay the investigator enough, yada, yada, yada. We may be able to determine that, right? But regardless, it doesn't really matter at this point. Even if Jeff gave the investigator all the money, Jeff is still wrong. He's still not done this properly. He still needs to have this given to the police because at the base level, he shouldn't be paying, you shouldn't be paying for a lawyer and an investigator for some rando creepy fucker who goes driving by people's houses or having people drive by friends of KIELY RODNI's houses so he can keep his LARP going. You know, this is just all wrong. And the reason Jeff is doing this as opposed to something that would be acceptable around this topic is because he has to keep the mystery up. He's got to keep that whole thing in front of you. Are you feeling me? Okay.
Investigator to make sure that it was not just some person. I did my due diligence, and that's what every person that has influence should do before they just.
Well, again, in order for us to just trust that you did your due diligence, we would have to trust you. And that's a problem because we're on the internet. We don't want to trust anyone. You shouldn't have to trust me. We shouldn't have to trust Jeff. We shouldn't have to trust you. I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm just making sure that line is drawn. We're not going to trust anybody. No one. Not even myself.
just go spewing information out onto the platform. But people make their own choices. For me, I wanted to do that due diligence, and I did. And I'm glad that I did, because now there are accusations being brought up regarding Jeff scamming money.
It's not an accusation. What are you talking about? Using KIELY RODNI's name to try and raise money inappropriately is a scam at the base level. Okay? Are we on the same page? It's factual here. Maybe some people don't understand why it is factual, but that doesn't stop it from being factual. This should have never happened. It's inexcusable. Got me? This has to stop. We aren't children, right? We're not 15 that are desperately wanting things to be different with what happened to KIELY and misguided on how we are getting that expressed. We're not. We're adults. This is inappropriate at the core. No one's going to convince me otherwise. Jeff isn't going to convince me. Every other creator out there who's done this with KIELY's name in a non-factual way, who is not fact-checking themselves, who is minimizing the amount of conspiracy, mystery, or misinformation they're putting out, they're wrong. Jeff just happens to be massively wrong because he's running a grift while being wrong. Got me?
Doing this as a scam. I have personally asked him for receipts. Other people have asked him for receipts.
That should be simple. Jeff should be able to give you those receipts and say, thank you for asking. Because Jeff decided that he would, this is hand sanitizer, right? Okay, I was hoping it wasn't like screen cleaning stuff. It's hand sanitizer, okay. Jeff, knowing that Jeff has not taken the money in a way where the money's tracked and not taken the money in the way to where the money goes directly to who he needs to pay, immediately knows he's going to have to show receipts and have them ready for anyone that asks. He has taken that responsibility on when choosing to not use GoFundMe to do it for him. Factually speaking, Jeff is pocketing this money. When Jeff shows proof that he hasn't pocketed the money, we'll be able to say that Jeff has not pocketed the money, because Jeff had the ability to click a button and have it tracked for him and chose not to. He's pocketing them. You see me here? You feeling me here? Let me try this one more time. What's a good comparison? You have the choice to take a company credit card with $5,000. They're going to send you to Vegas to get trained. Okay? You're only allowed to use this $5,000 for that trip and expenses on that trip. And you're even allowed to eat at lavish places and stay in a good hotel. But you got to use that card and you got to spend that money on that. So you decide to go to an ATM, remove the $5,000, throw the card in the river, go there, and when you get back, you hand them 15 cents to your boss and you say, I spent $4,999.85. That's how much I spent. Well, do you have receipts? No. Why didn't you just swipe the card? I chose not to. You ripped us off. No, I didn't. Jeff chose to not use a website that would have tracked everything for him. He did the exact thing that I just said in this representation. But he clickbaited KIELY RODNI's name to get the money. He wasn't hired and sent to train in Las Vegas to get the money. You feel me? I'm glad we're on the same page. Okay.
He has not provided those. People are calling him a scammer.
He's not providing those because he doesn't have them. Right? Now, if Jeff wants to disagree and state that he does, and he can try to prove that, he's not going to be able to. Well, let's just say that Jeff comes out with 16 receipts that he has screenshots of. If that was on GoFundMe, the money gets paid directly to the PI. The PI gives the receipt to Jeff and he puts it up on the GoFundMe page. Well, everything's just right there and it's done in clicks. Simple little clicks, done in seconds. When Jeff decides to put the money into his own bank account and then decides to just tell you, he hasn't proved shit. He factually, this is what bothers me. People think that when you run a fucking fundraiser and decide to take the money into your own account, that for some reason that's fine or something. It's not fine. It's not okay. You don't have to use GoFundMe. You got 15 other sites out there that you can use. It boggles the mind how people can even make the argument. But it's fine if they want to. I'm just telling you. Jeff did scam you. He has scammed everybody. He chose not to track this. He chose not to put out receipts. He chose to put the money in his pocket instead. And his words are nothing. For all we know now, when Jeff comes out with those 16 receipts, they could be fake. For all we know now, when Jeff says he made $3,000, he could have made 10. So what is the only way? The minute somebody chooses this instead of actually doing it the respectful way, don't even say it anything else. He's disrespecting KIELY and her family by doing this. He chose to do this. And if KIELY's family, KIELY's friends, who he should be thinking about, can we agree he should be thinking about it? Oh, we all agree. Even Jeff has to agree with that? Okay, great. If they knew about this, what has he done to ease their mind that this weirdo on the internet isn't keeping money out of KIELY's name? Nothing. Because he is. That's why he's disrespecting them, and it's why he's scamming. It's simple, easy stuff, y'all.
I have said there is no proof that he scammed anyone.
Yes, there is. What do you mean? It don't matter. We don't need your proof. We don't need you to realize it. And it's okay, Squirrel Girl. I get it. You only got 8,000 subs. You only been around for a little bit. You're not good at this. You're not good at investigation. You're not good at researching. You think you are because you've created this mindset that researching is going to Wikipedia or it's telling people on a YouTube channel or something. I get it, okay? Because I did that in the beginning too. I was a dumb in the beginning just like everybody else. Got me? But once you've been around for about 10 years, you've actually dedicated every single day of your time from wake up to sleep for years and years and years on end to actually getting some results, you start to realize that it's all a big fucking LARP. You don't have to sit here and dig through the entire internet to be able to solve something. The majority of the time, the information's not on the damn internet anyway. It's sitting in real life somewhere. And you realize, oh shit, the only way to get results is to actually set goals, make sure you're doing it the right way, and then and not do all these extra fucking unnecessary things just to get views, right? That's why it's doing extra things to get views. This is why all the mystery around KIELY RODNI from any creator out there, I don't know if Squirrel Girl's done it, but any creator, now it's fine to ask questions. It's fine to try to discuss things, but people that are causing it, casting it, making it happen, those people are the ones LARPing. They're the ones inappropriately LARPing it, right?
So I have never called him a scammer.
He's a scammer. I just explained it. There you go. It's done. It's stamped. You know those stamps you put on a piece of paper and you go cha-chunk? Okay, right on Jeff's forehead. Scammer.
Well, I prayed about this. Different thoughts went through my head. Leave it alone. People don't like to hear about drama. Don't do this. People, just let it be. All of the things. And I use what's called discernment, which is when you ponder, you pray.
We all know what discernment is. I'm glad you're explaining it, but we know.
You meditate, you use logical thinking, and then you come up with a decision that's good for you.
You use logical thinking every day, all day. At first, it's a little hard to do. You end up realizing that you have to logically think through everything in your life. But once you've done it for a few years, you've built a basis, you've built a foundation of logic, and you then can just logically think the new things that come in front of you. It's a wonderful way to live and exist, and I recommend everybody start doing it if you're not.
So I'm only responsible for decisions that I make for myself, just like you are only responsible for decisions that you make for yourself.
And Jeff is responsible for the decisions he made for himself, disrespecting KIELY, her family, her memory, and taking money in her name is a fucking scam.
It is not your right to judge my choices, and it is not right for me to judge yours.
Actually, it is my right to judge your choices that you publicly put out relating to the topics that we cover. Yes, it is. To judge them, to give an opinion of them, sure. Judge you as a human being on the internet? Only lolcows who put up extreme portions of their actual life can you judge in their real life. Some of them exist. That's why the majority of people who do not put up a lot of their own personal information, when people go and try to judge them, they're very cringy doing it. So since we're not talking about lolcows right now, we'll put them off the table. I'm not going to judge you as a person. I'm not going to judge you as a human being, but I will judge the topics you bring up, the things you talk about, and what you decide to say with them, with my opinion, with my words, right? That's literally why we're here.
I can have opinions on it, but my choice is my choice. If I make a wrong one, I have to live with those consequences. But
And those consequences are literally going to be other people discussing what you did publicly on YouTube, on the internet, what you say, how you do it, responding to it like I am right now. And no, I don't think I've responded to, I don't think you've done anything wrong up to the 10-minute mark of this video that I know of. I think this is a good video. I think you've given a great opinion. I think, now I know I'm a little harsh with my response, my commentary, but then again, that's just my style, so I apologize.
But I am not going to change who I am or feel like I have to filter what I say or do or think to please anyone that might be listening to me on YouTube.
Good. You go, girl. I support you with that.
I am me. I am unique.
You should own it. You should love it. You should literally live it unapologetically, unless you're hurting other people like Jeff. When you start hurting other people, that's when you got to look at them in the mirror and you got to be like, why am I doing this? Jeff knows why he's doing it. We know why Jeff's doing it. The majority of us know why Jeff's doing it. It's called that cheddar cheese. That's what it's called. Jeff is a dirty rat, and he's going through the digital maze looking for that cheddar cheese. He's decided that he's going to dig a dirty, disgusting hole through the sewers and try to make a tiny little hole underneath the cheddar cheese so he can grab little pieces of it from the bottom. That's what Jeff's doing. Got me? We're all going through the maze and just trying to fairly get to the other side. We're not trying to take advantage of other YouTubers to get to the other side. We're not trying to use YouTube in a way above others. We want to be judged by our opinions and our commentary and get to the other side. And then whoever's got the better commentary, whoever's got the better opinion, they're going to get there first. They're going to get there with the most cheddar cheese. Got me?
I am a little...
Jeff, Molly, all of those people, they go through the sewers of YouTube when they start to clickbait, they start to lie, they start to exploit dead people, they start to sneak through graveyards, they start to peep in windows, right? Peeping in windows is the doxing and shit, the window peeping, looking up people's personal shit instead of the stuff they post, right? Then now they're down there covered in slime, covered in shit, and they're just trying to reach up through these little holes in the ground they've created with their finger and just pull a couple tastes of that cheddar cheese. Problem is, when they're eating the cheddar cheese that they got on their finger, they're also eating the slime and the rest of the shit from the sewers that they are coated in. And it really does make them gross little goblins.
A little bit weird. I am special. I am healed. I am worthy. I am courageous.
I agree with everything you're saying. And I'm not even being sarcastic or anything. I completely agree. I think every individual in our community also should own who they are, be proud of who they are. They are valuable. Their opinions are valuable. And as long as they aren't, now the people that are, you know, do I have to go there? I don't. Okay.
I am weak, yet I am strong. I am many things, as we all are, but I am me. So I am not going to silence myself because I don't want to.
You shouldn't have to. Don't let Jeff threaten you. I want you to do me a favor. Okay? What I want you to do is save every threat, every nasty thing that Jeff gives you. Now, I want you to respect Jeff's privacy and his rights, but I want you to save everything Jeff does to you that's inappropriate. What I want you to do is if it contains any private information at all, you're going to have to not give it out publicly, right? We're going to get all that stuff he's done. We're going to get it to Team YouTube, and Jeff's never going to do this again. We're going to solve this shit with these people. They're going to be donezo by the time we're done. Got me?
Want to make anyone feel uncomfortable because you guys can clearly just stop watching the video.
Jeff already feels uncomfortable from the moment Jeff found out that his Magnum PI bullshit was busted. That's when he started getting shaky in his videos. That's when he started getting uncomfortable. Got me?
So, I chose today to call Magnum PI. Okay? I called Magnum PI.
It sounds, Navy, help me. Help me, Navy, help me.
All right, Bob, I'll do my best.
When she says that she had to call Magnum PI, isn't that just funny?
I mean, I kind of want her to say that when she called Magnum PI that Tom Selleck picked up.
I know, right? Tom Selleck, is that you? He's got a mustache. He's got like a big silver gun, you know what I'm saying? What does he say? What's Dirty Harry say when he shoots like, you dirty rat or something? Like, what's his saying?
You feeling lucky, punk?
You feeling lucky, punk? That, you know, that's Magnum. Jeff calls Magnum PI to get the doxes of KIELY Rodney's minor freaking friends, and Magnum PI is like, you feeling lucky, punk? I got your dox ready.
Well, I just want to comment. This picture that you're looking at, isn't that adorable? That's a round bale of hay, and someone painted that up like that. And I just thought,
No way. No way. Somebody painted a bale of hay and then put a tire next to it. That is adorable.
that was the cutest thing.
It is cute.
I actually have 2 campers similar to that, and I just thought that was so cute. And it looks like the camper that my squirrels
I want to do that now.
eat from, so I just thought that was very cute.
You really have squirrels, Squirrel Girl? Oh my god. Upload. Does Squirrel Girl have her squirrels uploaded? Because if so, we're going to watch some. Oh!
Hey guys, and they put their hands.
Oh, they're so adorable. My, listen to this, guys, real quick. Unirock story time, really short. So one of my buddy's grandmothers had a squirrel, and me and him, he was like this really like tough gangster type of guy, right? And I was like, you know, I wasn't necessarily into the whole like rap and gangster lifestyles, more rock and roll and stuff, and we'd hang out. 2 kind of different personalities that got along really well. And he took me to his grandmother's house one day, and we go in and I sit down, and all of a sudden there's this freaking squirrel staring me in the face. It's the fattest, plumpest little guy you ever saw. I think I've talked about this before. The cutest little thing, man. If they didn't shit and piss everywhere, if they weren't rodents, oh, they'd be great creatures. If you could train them to use like a squirrely box, that'd be awesome.
So, okay, back at it. So I spoke to Magnum PI. I like to get facts. I do not spew out information needlessly, and I don't
Oh, I'm glad, because Jeff does. Oh my god, Jeff is a misinformation factory, that guy.
skew things to meet my narrative. I have
Good.
been accused of covering for Nick, the tow truck driver.
Navy, are we going to have to look into this whole Nick situation? Because it's pissing me off already.
Well, yeah, because that's kind of part of the conspiracy, right? Is that the aspect of this Nick guy who is a AAA tow truck driver that supposedly was responding the day after KIELY had died.
Now, we know Kylie Rodney was in the car in the river that day, sadly. So let's just try to logically think. Do you think the tow truck driver, do you think, what's the percentage here? You basically have a scenario that's 0.00001%, and you got a scenario that's 99.9999, right? Which is it? Is the scenario more likely that the tow truck driver mistook the day he saw Kylie? Or is the scenario more likely that she wasn't dead and that it's a different person in the car, a different body? Because, guys,
I want to go with he mistook.
me too, because we've got pictures of Kylie's body in the car. People just don't show them on YouTube because they're not just in the freaking necro creeper.
Yep.
I'm so sorry,
human-
guys. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is, human recollection is one of the worst forms of like evidence, right?
Yeah.
Be it what you saw, what you remember happening, when you remember it happening. Like, there's so many things that it's one of the worst forms of evidence ever, because there's so many things that influence our perspective on things that we remember. So
Oh, yeah.
using him as like the main point, which I don't know if that's what Jeff is doing, but it kind of sounds like it, is horrible, because nobody would ever logically be like, this is the crux of the reason why I think this is a conspiracy.
What's that dude's name again? Oh, yeah. Jeff, Dustin, Molly are tonight's topic. I'm pretty sure we got a yellow sign, so I was just sharing on the community tab real quick. Guys, make sure you share and like the video. I'm not going to check right now, but I'm almost positive we got a yellow sign, because I'm barely having any notifications go out, so, you know. I get it. We're talking about a boring subject, too, so that could be part of it. You're right. You're right. Now, here's the deal. How do we do this? It's extremely simple. In fact, I just can't fathom that others haven't done this yet. What we're going to do is we're going to go look at the facts that are there. We're going to look at the originating piece of information. And what it sounds like is that there's a tow truck driver that did an interview through AWP. At least, I'm not saying he did. That's what people are saying on Twitter and YouTube in the comments, that AWP... Oh, there is a YouTube video that says this too out there. AWP is the one that put out an interview, and the tow truck driver, basically, is he saying that Kylie's still alive? Is he saying... Or is he just giving a date? Is he saying that Kylie was, you know, what so in the interview, when they're talking to the tow truck driver, they say, when's the last time you saw Kylie? And he goes, I think it was Wednesday the 5th of November, you know, is it something like that? Or was it more something like, Kylie's still alive and I'm a very smart, a highly educated British man that drinks tea and I have a very intelligent sounding voice. Tea and crumpets, thank you. Which is it, right? Because if he just said, when did you last see Kylie? Last Thursday, Friday? Okay, what's a Thursday, Friday? It's a Thursday. Oh, okay, okay. You know what I'm saying? Then I think he's probably got the wrong, he probably is misremembering. So we're going to look at the originating thing that's driven people to ask themselves whether this person saw Kylie after she passed away or not. Listen to it, get the information, and we're going to make a logical determination. Then we'll know whether people are basically making a big deal out of nothing or whether they're actually being logical in determining that Kylie could still be alive, okay?
I simply relayed what he said. People can take it for what it's worth. It was information provided. I didn't say I thought he was right. I didn't say that I thought he saw Kylie. I didn't say that I thought he was or was not part of anything.
Okay, listen to me, Squirrel, because I'm going to help you with the logic behind this. Okay, feel me out. Hear me out here. Jeff told us he used a guy named Magnum PI detective. So I hate to say it, there's probably only one Magnum PI detective out there, okay? Now, if you got a hold of the same one that Jeff used, okay? And he's telling you that Jeff is lying, then it's damn good information because we have Jeff saying he used the detective right here and in his videos and in his comments and description. And then we have the same guy saying that Jeff is lying. Pretty good evidence at that point. So if it's just someone where you typed in Magnum PI detective agency and gave him a phone call and then they said this, there might need to be a little more checking. But I'm just saying, if it is that this person was the person, if Jeff has said he used them and they're saying he used them, and then they tell you that Jeff is lying, yes, Jeff is lying at that point. And it's Jeff's burden. Jeff would then have the burden of proof to come back and say, because why would the detective agency lie? If they get paid to do detective work and it gets out there that then they get paid $9,000, but they like to go around and tell people that they only got $1,000, they're not going to get too much more detective work in the future. Because I'm sorry to say, you can hire, there's a lot of detectives out there that you can hire. It's not this thing where we have a lack of detectives to hire. Also, though, this is what we like to call, in the conspiracy debunking world, a straw man or a red herring. You kind of take your pick. It depends, but it doesn't matter. Follow me here. He shouldn't have taken the money using Kylie's name. And there is literally, I've gone through this in my head, no reason to do so. None. There's no reason that a person who's actually doing what they say they're doing to collect this money in Kylie's name. In fact, I'll go as far as to say that if someone doing an investigation is this desperate, is this disrespectful, they shouldn't be collecting the money and doing the investigation in the first place. And yes, I can say that. We're not talking about somebody investigating whether McDonald's hamburger tasted good yesterday or not. We're not talking about somebody investigating whether Walmart has poo-poo in one of the aisles. We're talking about Jeff saying that he's going to get justice for Kylie freaking RODNI, a 16-year-old girl. Go ahead, Navy.
The thing is this, like, so you read this, right? And he says, I cannot offer refunds once I start writing checks to Magnum PI. When in here have you said that the moment I start writing checks, I'm going to turn around and show you guys that I am writing checks to a private eye?
This is scam. You've made a great point because that is scammer logic and language. You have to give receipts, Jeff. If you were taking money to get a laptop for yourself, maybe you don't have to. You could try not to. People are going to get mad. They're going to want their money back. If they go to the cops, they're going to get their money back, regardless of whether you think they will or not. Or you're going to get in a lot of trouble if you scam them out of a laptop. But let's just say when you do it for something like a toy or something, it's not going to be that big of a deal or a priority where you really fucked. The reason I'm saying you really messed up is because you're using KIELY RODNI and you have no right to do it to get this money. You have to show receipts at that point. You don't get to say that you can't give refunds once. If somebody finds out you've lied or that you didn't do what you said you do, regardless of what you write here, they are entitled their money back. It's not your money. When you lie or when you do things that are completely inappropriate to get people's money, you've exploited someone with this need to get to see KIELY not in the situation she was in, and you've exploited that thing about them, whether they've lost somebody themselves or whatever has them clouded to not be able to think straight and give you money in the first place. The reason you're picking a 16-year-old that's passed in the way she did is so that you can get money from people by exploiting them. It's why it's a scam from the beginning, okay? And like Navy said, the language alone is more than enough for it to be a scam. So many layers of why it's a scam. Yeah, great point, man.
Gave information. I'll give my opinions, but you can make your own because facts are facts. And people.
Yeah, and the fact is that Jeff scammed everybody. That's a fact. It's not an arguable fact. Now, if you can present some evidence, right, then maybe we'll take a look at it. But I don't think you're going to present. I've gone through it. I can't find, Navy can help me with this. I can't find a single fact that could ever be produced that would make it to where Jeff can use KIELY RODNI's name to collect money. Navy, is there a fact that could be produced that would ever make it okay?
No, I haven't seen anything. And once again, we're going back to the verbiage of what he's saying here, right? Is that help me get justice for KIELY RODNI, not like donate to help get justice for her, so I can help like others, or donate to like law enforcement or whatever. It's help me do it. And once again, we've seen this before, where you have these people who believe, or at least they put out there this idea that they're the only ones that can do this, right?
Yeah. And he said that. He said that in his video. He's creating this narrative so that he gets the money, because the narrative he's created isn't real. Jeff is not the only person. It should never be that Jeff is the only person, right? It should be that the police, someone that's qualified, someone who has authority to do this. And the reason is because it is a very big deal. The reason why they don't just hand off investigations to some loser on the internet over some girl that's disappeared is because the girl disappearing ruins someone's life. So there is a huge responsibility there. And to say that YouTube sleuths or Jeff should be the people doing this is saying that we should foundationally change that about society. You're arguing if you should be doing this investigation, if Jeff should be doing this investigation, you're arguing that society should change the way we divvy out who investigates missing girls and disappearing girls. Now, again, I'm not saying someone can't go on the internet and try to help gather whatever information's out there to maybe help with something. And that is completely different. Like if you start a channel and you want to get people the information regarding missing people, or if you want to get money through fundraisers that go directly to the charity to help, there are a lot of, I'm saying there are a lot of ways you can do the idea of what Jeff is doing, or the idea of what the sleuths are doing, without them directly profiting and with the money that they're making. Because now why is that? Some people will say that's not true, that why can't they profit? Well, they say that everything they're doing is to make money to get justice. It's to help get justice. I'm not telling you that. I always tell you, we're not here to get justice for KIELY RODNI because it's too important for me to do it. Someone who's a computer technician, somebody who has training in other things, it's not appropriate. I wouldn't want that burden. Only if there aren't people to investigate it who have qualifications should we give that burden to other people that don't, right? So the point is, at the base level, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, the thing is, though, is that Jemima pointed out a really good point. Like, what does he mean by justice? Like, if you're gonna say this, then you have to sit there and you have to give like a ton of evidence that something is not right, not your assumptions, not your speculations. In order for you to sit there and try to raise money and get, like, now that you're the only person that can do this, because how many times have we seen this before? People use this to justify all these other expenditures, But what I said was, it was for me to get justice for her. I had
Yeah.
to do all this stuff and never got justice for her. But you know, your money, I needed your money anyway, right?
Sure. Doc makes a great point. A detective will always, because they've been trained, they have the qualification, understand that the evidence they find will have to stand up in court. And if they can't, then it's not good evidence.
Yep.
And by someone like Jeff, who doesn't have that kind of training, trying to step in. And I'm not even going to entertain that Jeff is trying to get, I'm not even going to tell you that he is really trying to get justice for KIELY, because Jeff is a LARP on top of a LARP on top of a LARP. No matter what happens by the end of this, Jeff is done. He's ruined his reputation, if he ever deserved to have one. He's ruined his ability to be able to post on this platform by abusing it to such a degree, right? Everything he's done, it's the doxing alone, cut him off. He's done. It ain't going to happen now. It's over, Jeff. You went too far. Could have rebranded your channel and did something else if it wasn't for the doxing, if it wasn't for the threats, if it wasn't for the blackmail. You get me? The way you think you get to treat other people is cringy, bro. Who in the hell are you? Are you the king of England? Is that why you get to threaten people to take down their opinions on things, to take down what they're putting out and showing? You're the king of England.
It sounds like it sounds like Josh needs to rebrand his channel, called it Josh GoLightly.
Yeah, Jeff GoLightly. Oh yeah. Well,
Jeff
we
GoLightly,
see this.
Yeah.
You're good. No, it's not worth even trying to get his name right, for God's sakes. You know, and that's the thing with all of them, especially the one that I've got on the top of my Twitter at Unirock TV, where I need you to help me tag team YouTube, so that what happened with this video gets in the hands of someone at Team YouTube, and they can actually take away the monetization and the channel with that person. These people that constantly threaten others, what they don't understand is, and well, they do, because they try to delete their videos, but what they don't, but when they're doing it, it's out of anger, and it's out of them being, you know, cringy and internet tough guys and stuff. They don't get the fact of how much it makes them look entitled. It makes them look special. They think they are better than everybody else because they get to go around controlling everyone else out there, right?
Statements are people's statements. You can't change them, and they don't care about your feelings. So I'm going to share with you some facts that I learned today from a 1 hour and 20-minute conversation that I had with the private investigator.
Okay, let me just help you in the future, Squirrel. And listen, I'm not judging. I'm not being mean. Just next time, it helps. You know, you did repeat a lot. I do this too. I'm just saying. Because you are a creator, and I think you could give some value to the platform because you did stand up here and did something good in showing this. Next time, if you try to get it down more condensed, it'd help out others so we can help you.
That Jeff from Jeff's channel was working with. Okay? I am doing this because it is factual and it is important. This is not what I was expecting, just as when I had the conversation with Nick, the tow truck driver. It wasn't what I was expecting. But facts are facts. So here you
Listen, I don't like this Nick thing, y'all. I don't know where it's going to go, but I don't like this Nick thing.
go.
I got a bad feeling about this.
The private investigator, which is
Well, and that's the thing, is they're all hinging this on one person and their spotty recollection. Like I haven't seen what Nick said, so I don't know for sure, but I do know that the human ability to recollect things is it just can be so muddy by
Exactly.
different influences, right?
And that's why
That
you
if
have
you're
to
gonna
take
hinge,
it against the facts. You got to put it
Right.
against the facts. And that's what they're not doing. We've got the facts of what the police have put out, that her body was found there. We know when she left. We have cameras in that area that have tracked every vehicle that goes by. We know which vehicles were hers and which weren't. We've seen what other vehicles did in the area at the time. And so we know that her vehicle goes in, no other vehicle came up, no other vehicle went and did anything. And, how do you make an argument that he could see KIELY the next day, opposed to him giving the wrong date or saying something wrong or trying to get attention on the internet? But we have to first get deep into what he said, because that could just knock out a lot of the other conversation, but we'll get there.
private investigator.
well,
Squirrel
that's
Girl.
the first question I would ask him. Sorry, go ahead.
But no, go ahead, man.
The first question I would ask him is, how many people do you service a day?
Well, before we'll listen to what he says, because like I said, it could be the guy just said Tuesday or Wednesday or something, and people are inserting that he saw oh my god, if he saw her Tuesday, then she must have been alive, which if that's the case, then they're basically just doing it for clickbait. They're just bullshitting because it would be his memory. But we'll get there because right here we've got Squirrel Girl spoke to Magnum PI. So she's made this little thing where she's bullet pointed some of the stuff. Now, I like that she did this. I do. Because it helps you, you know, not only is it something to look at for the video, but it helps us kind of get the context of what she's saying. 2 background checks, $350 each. So supposedly he gave this guy $700. Now, you don't just get to raise money in KIELY's name and then do something with the money. You need to have the responsibility of choosing what to do with that money that will produce results. You don't just get to willy-nilly throw the money around. It's not your money. If he spent money on background checks, it better be for good reason, or it doesn't matter that he did it. Follow me. Just because Jeff says that he ran 2 background checks and paid a detective to do it does not mean that he should have done that he used the money toward justice for KIELY like he said he was going to. That's where the money needs to go. If he decides to buy a laptop for $3,000 and then use $500 to try to find KIELY, and he gets to keep the laptop because he's going to use it to help get justice for KIELY, it's the same thing as, are you literally just coming up with things you've done with money for no reason? Or was it good reason? So the money does not just count. If Jeff threw the money away, wiped his ass with the money, burnt the money, threw it on a computer, decided to give it to some detective, decided to do this, it only counts if it fits what he said he was doing with the money, what he compelled the people to give the money for. Okay? So no, just because it's a detective and just because he ran a background check does not mean that he didn't scam people. Okay? So, now that we've established that, 2 background checks, $350 each. We're not going to put that money towards justice for KIELY yet. We need to know who the background checks were on. We need to know why he did it. I believe she's going to tell us because people out there on the internet know it. I've heard it was on one of KIELY's 18 or 17-year-old friends. Now, I don't think you can run a background check on 17-year-olds. Maybe you can. If he did target minors that are around KIELY and inappropriately violate their rights or violate their privacy through, by the way, his last video upload is him showing one of their homes. A friend of KIELY's. He's literally trying to say, hey, I'm doxing and stalking one of KIELY's friends. A young girl. A girl that's not even 20 yet. Some 40-year-old dude out there is driving around the homes. Now, how do you even figure out where she lives? You dox her first. Got me? He's got to be out there pursuing information about KIELY's friends so that he can then choose one of them to go drive by their homes. So Jeff not only has really fucked this up, like there are many reasons on top of what I've already said that not only makes this a scam, but it makes him a doxer and a stalker. Okay? A window peeping weirdo. Got me? And this is something that these people, you say to yourself, what would make anyone drive by some young girl's home after she just lost her friend in this horrible accident? The misinformation, the money that he exploits, the lies, the narrative he has to build. He needs to show his audience he's actually doing something, or else they're going to think he ripped them off. So he uploaded a video creeping on this young girl's home. By his own admission, I showed you him typing from his channel in the comments, responding to people, admitting it was one of KIELY's young friends' homes. Not only that, he's already convinced his audience that there's snakes there. And he didn't even respond and say, listen, why are you calling this young girl a snake? He didn't even get mad. He was happy. He responded politely to the person who said that one of KIELY's young friends is a snake. Now, what's the difference between KIELY disappearing and one of her young friends disappearing? You could have just as easily called you're calling KIELY a snake just as easily as you're calling her friend a snake. It's disgusting. And that is the incitement that comes along with the stalking and the doxing. Jeff is just going to go, you're trolling me, bruh, as a response. In fact, I don't even think he'll entertain us. He's going to do what Molly did in the beginning, because he's going to be intimidated by the fact we've done this a million times. We already have the logic worked out for this. We already know what he should and shouldn't be doing. And Jeff, I already told you, he's gone way too far. But the reason I'm stalling for a second is I'm going to let Navy talk to the chat for a second while I grab something to drink, and we'll keep on a rolling. So I'll be right back.
Yeah, so honestly, I tell you the truth, in my opinion, is qualified FraudRaiser. He is sparking the conspiracy for no other reason than to get people to watch his stuff. And I know someone had said earlier in the live chat that he has a second channel where he had talked about him being on hard times. I don't know for sure. I haven't checked it out. So if y'all know what it is, whoever posted it could post it again. We can go take a look at his channel. And if he is talking about the fact that he falls on hard times, which we all do, there's nothing wrong with that. Like COVID hit everybody hard. You know, we all fall on hard times. However, if you're falling on hard times and all of a sudden now you're doing a fundraiser to go find justice for somebody you have nothing to do with, it seems really freaking sus to me that you're, you know, doing this now, and all of a sudden there's this big conspiracy that you and only you alone have uncovered to, you know, find justice for somebody that you really have nothing to do with. So yeah, no, it's like everything he's done. Like I'm gonna call her right now. I'm gonna call her right now, and when he sits down and puts his headphones back on.
I'm here.
All right, Uni, I'm gonna call her right now. It's a FraudRaiser. I'm gonna put it out there. It's a FraudRaiser. There's nothing he has done, no evidence he has shown that he has actually done anything toward what he claimed he was going to do. Maybe he did, you know, pay $700 to a private eye, but like you said, the thing is, you don't get to spend a portion of the money to do it and then keep the rest of it. You need to spend all of it for the goal that you supposedly had. And I'm gonna call it FraudRaiser.
And those background checks are not like Jeff is just tossing money for background checks because he needs to be able to say he spent money on something. And I'm not giving this to you, Jeff. I'm not giving you the $700 for these background checks unless I know that it could, unless you have a damn good argument for why the target of each of those checks needs to be background checked to get justice for KIELY Rodney. Because you took that money. I've heard you say why you took it. I've heard you ask for it. I can read, unlike you, Jeff. So I'm just saying, bruh, I don't give a shit about I don't give a shit if you gave him a G. I don't give a shit if you gave him 2 Gs. If you wasted that cash, you've defrauded everybody. We're done playing these games with you guys on YouTube. It's Are you saying that I should go out and tell people I'm going to help a cancer victim? Got me? But then when I take your $10,000 and I'm going to go pay this $10,000 medical bill, and that's what I tell you I'm going to do, instead, I buy the cancer victim a couple teddy bears. Does that help solve their problem, get their treatment, help them with their cancer? Does it? Sure, it gives them a teddy bear. But did you put that in your, did you put something about some teddy bears right here? Oh, I don't see no teddy bears, Jeff. I don't know why you'd background check anybody. Your videos shouldn't be you doxing KIELY's family. Now, you should be investigated by the police for creeping by those girls' houses. Or even if you didn't, I didn't drive by. I had my friend do it. Okay, you just admitted you had the person do it. You just admitted you posted the video. You're doxing them. You need to be investigated for that alone. There is something wrong with an adult that targets these girls while they're in this midst of this tragedy with the things you're doing to them. Running background checks on KIELY's friends, 17, 18-year-old girls. Going in and going to their homes, driving by slow and recording it. Listen.
Super creeper.
Don't let YouTubers trick you into doing these evil things or even monetarily supporting them. They are using your money that you work to gain, and they're doing this. Okay? I'm not saying it's anyone's fault that paid Jeff, but I am saying eventually there has to be some responsibility out there eventually, not now, on people that continue to fund this shit. Where is their mind to think that you should be funding someone that's creeping on the victims, the people that are affected by an accident, a tragedy? Malicious.
And he does have a firm that he works with at his disposal that does have...
Stop. Stop. You just said he has a firm that he works with, and then you say it's at his disposal. You don't have a firm at your disposal if you work with them, okay? You don't. You don't. And why would a background check cost $350? Shouldn't it only cost like $82? See, we're not even done really thinking through this, but I don't even like the language that Squirrel Girl's using here. If he's not a licensed detective who himself is the person who is doing the detecting, not with an agency at his disposal. I'm talking, you know, maybe it's the wording. Maybe I'm focusing too hard on the wording here, but I hope to God this dude is the one with the license. The one who is the owner is the one that gets to make these kind of decisions and take in this money. I hope so.
Lawyers, boots on the ground surveillance, all those different types of things.
Wait, what? You don't need on the ground fucking surveillance right now with KIELY RODNI. Why? Why would you need that unless you're going to stalk people? KIELY's situation's in the past. What? Are you feeling me, man? You see what I'm saying?
So yeah, I am. And Dead is telling me the full interview everyone is talking about with Nick is behind a paywall.
Where? Do we know where? AWP has it behind a paywall?
No, he dropped it in the bottom of.
I'm just asking who. Yeah, Adventures with Purpose has it behind a paywall.
AWP, yep.
So AWP is making money off KIELY RODNI. Those motherfuckers. Those motherfuckers. Why is everybody out there a scammer? Why are they all scammers? Why is everybody out there doing this? None of them have a good bone in their body. They get up there and look you in the face and say, we're not going to make money off KIELY RODNI. We're just here to help. Bullshit. But let's get back to this. We'll get to there later.
Which are things that Jeff told us, and those are all true.
What the fuck? Adventures with Purpose put out, now that Squirrel Girl has confirmed Nick's GPS data, the roadside assistance guy, showing that he was indeed at Boca Lake, as he stated, we're comfortable releasing the full interview. Why would you have a random fucking internet girl do it with 8,000 subs? And how do you know she confirmed it? Did she record the fucking... Have you seen the GPS data? Then you don't know. Adventures with Purpose? What the fuck is going on? Squirrel Girl. How did Squirrel Girl confirm the GPS data? By asking the guy? So is Adventures with Purpose the people causing all these conspiracy theories around KIELY RODNI? Are they causing it? Their paywall is for members. It releases in 2 days to the public. I still think that's gross. I still think it's gross. That's my opinion. We can disagree. People can disagree. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying anyone can disagree with me. I think it's gross. I heard Adventures with Purpose literally in an interview with the news, or maybe it was with Brian Enton. It was with someone. And they were telling everybody they didn't want to make any money off KIELY RODNI. You don't paywall your KIELY RODNI content then. Tell them you do plan on making money with your YouTube. Just be honest is all I ask. Just be honest. In the very beginning, just tell people you're going to paywall some of your KIELY RODNI content, and that'll be the only way you're going to make money off KIELY. Don't say you're not going to make money off KIELY is my point. Got me?
This firm, this company, this private investigator known as Magnum PI,
firm, company, private investigator. You know, before I am comfortable even believing that he is anything at all, I need to see evidence of that. So I'm just going to call him Magnum PI. I'm not going to believe that he's a firm. I'm not going to believe he's a company. I'm not going to believe any of it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's nothing until there's some kind of evidence or proof. We're dealing with nonstop misinformation from all angles in this situation.
Was written, I need to speak properly, was not written any checks at all.
Okay. How do you know any of this? Just by talking to him? Okay. Rose says, yes, AWP planted the seed of doubt that it was a crime, not an accident. Did they do that with something they said, or did they just constantly do that? Because there's a difference. There's a difference in them doing it in an interview and them doing it repeatedly, right? Because then they're going to fall back and say that people are taking their words and running with them. And I just want to be sure. So, you know what I'm going to have to do, Navy? We're going to have to actually look into all this shit now.
Yeah, no.
He was paid via PayPal twice, 2 payments.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not gonna be a stickler and say that, you know, if you paid him money, then you can say that you wrote him a check. That's just a way of speaking, right? So if Jeff said, I wrote him a check, okay, fine. If you send him a PayPal, you're saying you wrote him a check. People talk differently in different areas. Some people use the slang that they wrote a check to communicate that they've made a digital payment. Just because for years people wrote checks and that's how they paid. And now all of a sudden, for the last X amount of years, like less years than they've been alive, they use digital, right? So you get what I'm saying? Like, some people don't write any checks. Some people still write checks. You know, most people that have been alive for 40, 50, 60 years, even 35 or 30 years, wrote checks for a good while before they might have started using a card. You know, some people used a card back in the 90s and 80s more than they wrote checks or didn't write checks at all. But you get what I'm saying, right? Everything's digital now.
Of $350 each.
Okay, so you're saying that Magnum PI, whom I have no way of knowing what they are, so they're just Magnum PI until we have some proof or evidence. If they wanted to do a video interview where, not with me, I don't want to do it, but if they wanted to do one where we see their face, we get confirmation of where their office is and all those things, and people can fact check, maybe then. But just by hearing him, yeah, two payments at $350. Again, I'm not even going to include that as money used to get justice for KIELY, just because I want to know who the background checks were for. I want to know if they were appropriate before I make up my mind.
For 2 background checks. One for Sammy Smith and one for what he referred to as a mother. So I don't.
Sammy Smith. Auto-completing. Footage of Sammy Smith after KIELY RODNI. KIELY RODNI's friend Sammy released an alarming video one day before her laptop was found. So okay, so who is Sammy Smith? Who? KIELY RODNI's mom and Sammy Smith, Mags, speak at a funeral. So Sammy spoke at the funeral. Okay. Anybody know how old Sammy Smith is? If it's publicly known, of course. These people are fucking disgusting, man. KIELY was 16. She's 18. 18, everybody says. Classmate? Okay. 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 So you're telling me that I'm not supposed to consider Jeff a creeper, a fucking creep, and when he ran a background check on an 18-year-old girl who obviously just turned 18. I don't even care if she was 20 or 22, for fuck's sake. This is not an appropriate. How do you get justice for KIELY RODNI by running background checks on Sammy Smith? Or does it produce YouTube content?
Clicks
So
and
no,
views.
Jeff. Yes. So I'm not going to even apply this at all. This does not even get applied to his... He did not spend a dime on justice for KIELY Rodney. Now, you could then say, but you're being a stickler and he could have spent money on anything and now you're going to say he still did a FraudRaiser. Well, you're technically right. You're technically right. Because he shouldn't have raised the money in the first place. He had no chance of getting justice for KIELY with the money, and it's a scam. It's a FraudRaiser. But...
Yep.
If, let's say, the money was used to go to the location where she went missing because he was going to meet with some people to interview or yada yada, if there's a good logical reason, I don't even care if he bought a hotel room, I would consider it applied to getting justice for KIELY. You see what I'm saying? If it can logically go there, then maybe. But running a background check on Sammy Smith, I don't see the reason.
I disagree. My thing is this, is that you're talking about getting justice for her. I kind of see the hotel thing, but you know, I mean, he could sit there and say that, you know, well, me doing my videos.
No, that's not what I mean. I just mean logically, right? Like his argument is, okay, I'm not even giving Jeff the ability to say, like, for him to stand there and go, well, at least I bought 2 background checks for $700. I'm not even giving him that, is what I'm trying to say. Like, if Jeff stood up and tried to make an excuse and say that he did this with the money, I'm still considering it a FraudRaiser. I'm still considering it misappropriation of the money. All those things, because again, he's not there. What has he done? How? He's got to be able to tell me the end goal, the resolution, why he's doing what he's doing and how it's going to get justice. Like technically how. And that's what a regular detective would be able to do because they know how to investigate and they're not going to waste money by doing bullshit investigations so that they can take money from people on YouTube. And that's why Jeff shouldn't have done it in the first place. So he's going to have a hard time convincing me any of his money has gone towards justice for KIELY or was appropriately spent. But I at least have to give him the ability to make the argument. When it comes to background checking these people, I don't think I will ever be convinced that it was appropriate. Got me? If you have a suspicion on Sammy, is the first thing you do to run a background check on her? No, in my opinion. The first thing you do is basic, work to figure out whether it's appropriate to go further. Like you go in, you ask yourself, was it possible for Sammy to even do it? What could Sammy have done to KIELY? Do the conditions warrant any further investigation on Sammy before you run a background check? And I don't believe he did that. I believe he went straight to, I'm going to run a background check. Who can I do it? I know Sammy. Who else? I know Mother. You know what I'm saying? So no, I don't think that it was appropriate.
I don't know if it was KIELY's mother or Sammy Smith's mother. And it really didn't matter, so I didn't ask. I called him, explained why I was calling, and then I just shut my mouth and listened. Just like I did when I spoke to Nick, the tow truck driver. And when I'm talking to anyone, you just shut your mouth and you listen.
It's really fucked up that you're doing these things and then just blasting it out on the internet. Now, not in relation to Jeff. This tow truck driver thing, man, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Like, I want an interview with whoever is responsible for this tow truck driver narrative. And I want to sit down and ask them many questions on how they've come to a conclusion that they should be, blasting out the fact that they talked to this person and what they said. The dude literally fucking just picked up. Look, an investigation into a murder, an investigation into a disappearance that has the body there, the tow truck driver. The person that should be talking to the tow truck driver isn't random internet denizens, is my point. It should be investigators. It should be people that can actually do something for the case. And if you need information, you should get it from the investigation. You shouldn't get it by stalking people and tracking them down and being Mr. Internet Sleuth Extraordinaire. That is the inappropriate way that people sleuth on the internet to get information as opposed to doing it the proper way.
They did nothing else. Nothing else.
Dead dropped AWP's response to Squirrel Girl's confirmation
I saw
of the GPS. I don't know if you did. Yeah, okay.
Since November 12th.
I saw it.
Which is over 3 weeks ago. That's about the time that I spoke to this investigator, if I'm recollecting correctly. So Jeff may have used me to legitimize the fact that he had a PI to encourage people to donate.
I'm gonna have to rewind a little here. Let me hear it.
That's about the time anyone, you just shut your mouth and you listen. Or what he referred to. They did nothing else. And then I just shut my mouth and listened.
Okay.
Just like I did when I spoke to Nick, the tow truck driver. And when I'm talking to anyone, you just shut your mouth and you listen.
I disagree. I think you let them talk, right? You ask some questions. If you get a feel they're lying to you or anything, yeah, I get it. Shut your mouth and listen. I can get you there.
They did nothing else.
Or if you think you've got enough information. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Nothing else. He has not even heard from Jeff since November 12th, which is
November 12th.
over 3 weeks ago. That's about the time that I spoke to this investigator, if I'm recollecting correctly.
Wait, hold on. That's a little bit deceptive there. Not that you meant to do it. You can't conclude that Jeff hasn't talked to him for 3 weeks if you interviewed him 3 weeks ago, but maybe you misspoke.
So Jeff may have used me to legitimize the fact that he had a PI to encourage people to donate.
Of course he did. Yes, are you finally getting it? It's a fucking scam. But you need to start being able to recognize when something is a scam by looking at it, if possible, okay? You got to be able to recognize these. You got to be able to logically think through them. Because getting up there and giving, and look, I'm saying for the future, I don't think he did anything wrong. You have to be able to, if it's this glaring, be able to say it, because when you do this video and you're constantly saying, well, I don't know if it's a scam or not, but, you know, that's, you know, you could have been easily saying, yes, it's a scam. In the future, I think you should just give it a little more thought, a little more, maybe talk to some people, then go in, because it would have helped a lot. But it's okay. Just a little advice.
So I may have been used.
No, you were used, because it is a scam. So yes, I know it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes.
Part of Jeff's plan to solicit funds and to make them seem more legitimate.
Exactly. And it will be going, Jeff, you're probably watching on a sock, or maybe not, but it's going to the police. It is. I don't know what they'll do, if anything, but it is. It will be reported. I'm just making sure you know that. Because, you know, you sit here and you look at everybody on YouTube and you threaten them to take down your videos. I don't care who you threaten. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you dance. I don't care if you throw rocks in the air. I don't care what you do. It will be given to them. And I just saying, maybe you should look into what happened with Letitia and her FraudRaiser, or some of the previous FraudRaisers in the past, okay? Because, you know, you shouldn't have posted a dox today. You should have posted an apology. You should have posted you being honest, giving the truth, and then an apology.
There was never any surveillance.
Squirrel Girl, listen to me. Listen closely. This is why you need to go to school. You shouldn't be surveying people without a good reason. They have a right to privacy. You can cause a lot of problems for things. This is not right. You know how fucked up it is when you think about someone spying on a U.S. citizen and all this garbage, right? They have a right not to be followed and surveyed after experiencing a tragedy. So I don't know who you're talking about unless you've got a fucking suspect, but you shouldn't be doing it, because your surveillance will not be able to be used in a court of law. It'll get thrown out. You'll get the guy to go free and he'll do it again. And that's why you guys shouldn't be playing these games. The fact that you're even okay saying that Jeff should have spent money on surveillance is insane. How are you going to get justice? Are you going to go kill the guy? Because if you are, you're just as bad as whoever did it. Is it going to be vigilante? Because none of your work is going to go into fucking the evidence here. There has to be a chain of custody. I don't even know how these... Do you not even fucking, like, read basic true crime or anything, like... And maybe you are and you're reading a lot of fiction. I don't know what goes on with these people, but you shouldn't be the one conducting surveillance. some random fucker on the internet. That's called stalking. It's not called justice. You want justice for one thing, you can't cause injustice on a million other things. Fucking, just like why Jeff shouldn't have threatened and doxed you. Because it's an injustice, it's wrong. So how do, the motherfucker definitely can't get justice for KIELY if he's sitting here doxing. That's like saying that I can fucking solve a chemistry problem or an algorithm on a computer that's extremely advanced because I know how to do fucking 2 + 2 = 4 here. Come on. Come on.
Jeff told me personally that there was surveillance being done over the holiday weekend to try to catch Sammy Smith driving her car.
I gotta take a second. Jesus H. Christ.
There's nobody out there on YouTube is going to solve crimes. It's just not going to happen. Make sure y'all hit that like button. You're enjoying what's going on here. Like, you know, the thing is, like, when you said it 1,000 times, I'm not here to solve crimes. I'm not here to solve anything. I'm just here to, like, criticize other content creators who think that they have the right to claim that they're going to somehow solve a crime, which ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Did she just say that she heard Jeff was going to survey KIELY Rodni's friend Sammy over the holiday fucking weekend because why? Do they even say why? Do these... Oh, fuck. Chat. Help me, chat. Help me, chat. Am I an idiot for being shocked by this? By being surprised by this? Is this... How in... Okay, there has to be a way to describe what they're doing. Is Jeff not stalking KIELY's friends? How is this not stalking, for fuck's sake? Because you know Jeff doesn't have no fucking PI. You know he's not paying money to someone with an actual fucking like certification or whatever. I don't know what you gotta have to be a PI, but you know what I'm saying. He's just finding any old person out there that'll give him the best rate, who says that they're an investigator, to go fucking record. These aren't people that are trained. He's not hiring, because it costs more money than $100 or $300 to have someone go survey somebody like this. This is insanity. This is as bad as this. No, this is even worse. This is worse. Not as bad. This is worse than when the Church of Scientology does it to people, because they use actual licensed investigators. Lauren says if he said that, he's admitted he's planning to stalk a teenage girl. But no. He said he's... Oh, no, you're right. Planning to. Okay, let's hear what she said. Let's look at...
Right fast, Dead dropped in the bomb in general. He doxed the wrong person, and she made a YouTube video about it.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so I have had several comments on a few of my videos telling me to go to a certain creator's channel. His name was YouBackTube Jeff.
Do not go to his channel. Hopefully his channel won't be around that long after we turn in what he's been doing. In fact, I don't think it will be, because he does not need to be on this platform. This is insane. But anyway.
I was told that he has accurate information.
That's why you don't listen to the YouTube comments. I'm sorry.
And all truth about...
Oh, God. Wow.
About KIELY Rodni's
all you got to do is listen to him talk for under 30 seconds, and you know that's not true.
case. So, I did. I went to his channel as recommended, because I do appreciate people's opinions and advice.
Okay, we'll look at this later. Let's get this done.
Personally, that there was surveillance being done over the holiday weekend to try to catch Sammy Smith driving her car.
What is it going to do to record this little girl driving her car? Again, here we go with, hey, real detectives run checks. Real detectives do surveillance. So I'm going to do surveillance. Who do I pick? That little 18-year-old right there.
Because he felt that if he caught her driving her car, he could force her into talking.
So wait. No, so Jeff is admitting on plotting the stalking of Sammy Smith because he's going to do it himself. He's not going to pay a detective to do it. Holy shit.
And force her to fess up, which I said.
Force her to fess up? This guy's sick. If this is true, this guy's sick.
Was ridiculous as far as an investigative procedure.
Oh, thank God. Okay, Squirrel Girl. Great. I'm glad you saw how ridiculous this is. Yes, excellent.
And
because you ask yourself, what information am I gonna gain? Am I doing this the proper way? Would this be admissible in a court of law? These things must be true for you to get any kind of justice. You don't just get to willy-nilly go around following 18-year-old girls, forcing them to do things. Jeff, you are a sick man, bro. If this is true in any degree, you're a sick dude.
Questioned how a legitimate private investigative team would do that. Well, they wouldn't be.
They would be hiring people that are literally like very well trained, and even they would tell you they're not going to do it without a good reason. So I'm just being straight up.
Involved in any type of extorting. For one, that's illegal. Number two, that's just not a productive way. You cannot bully people into.
Sure, yeah, I would definitely call that criminal stalking if it happened. Even if it was plotted, it'd be a conspiracy to criminally stalk this girl. This has to go to the popo. I'm sorry, all of this needs to go to the popo. Hardcore.
That just goes without saying.
Yes. Squirrel Girl, high five, thank you.
He stopped working with the investigator on November 12th, meaning that's the last time he called him. He did 2 background checks. We all know when those were done. We could look up the dates of exactly. And then there was.
Wait, what do you mean you can look up the dates? He put them out?
Little contact other than Jeff sending him emails with all this different information, and then Jeff would say what they could do, and they offered their services, which were all the things that Jeff told us that I heard with my own ears. Jeff saying was being done. Boots on the ground, lawsuits being filed, court papers being filed.
Well, see, anyone tells you that a lawsuit's being filed, you go and search. And if it doesn't get filed, then you expose them very quickly. Okay? So, anyone who's really doing an investigation or doing this the right way would tell you when they're filing, the date they're filing, when it'll be available, when you can go check it. You just need to ask, Jeff says that? Hey, Jeff, when are you filing it? Because I'm going to go check and make sure it got filed the day after you file it, just so you know. Jeff's not going to get mad. He's going to say, oh, it's going to be on this date. Make sure you check. You can even go do a YouTube video and look at it and stuff. There you go. That's content that you do that actually does something that's not a LARP, that's not fake, right? You have a reason to do the content. Like my content looking at your video. It's to figure out what needs to go to the popo with the group of people who are raising money in KIELY's name off of YouTube and social media to hopefully get them to be able to get whoever they need to be able to get these people to sit down with a detective, real one employed by the police, and fact check where the money is, that it's still there or that it's been spent. And if it was spent, did it go to where he said it was going to go? Those things must happen. If you don't do that, it's called fraud. There's a lot of things it could be called. So
all of the stuff, yet none of it was done. So all of that stuff could have been done.
We have CCTV in the live chat.
But he never paid.
That's one of the ones that Jeff tagged.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense why I was tagged. I'm done. Gloves off. Oh, yeah. Wait, who tagged you? Jeff? I didn't tag you, I don't think, but oh well.
Them to do anything other than 2 background checks for $350 each. On November 12th, he was quoted an amount to do a license plate search. That's the last time Magnum PI ever heard from Jeff.
I don't understand why he's searching these girls' license plates. What information do you get from that helps towards justice for KIELY RODNI either? Did Jeff ever say on maybe he did on his YouTube channel, why he's getting, all that? And hey, CC, I'm glad you're in here. I'm just trying to basically figure out where this money is. Okay, look, I will have opinions that people won't like. I'm going to warn you now. But I respect your opinion, even if it differs with mine. And Navy disagrees with me all the time. He's in here. Navy's in here too. We are people who basically go around YouTube. We try to check these things that are going on, and we bust YouTube scams. And we actually get some results on. I don't know why this thing keeps going off here. This little talkie thing, because I always have it on, and it just keeps going off. So, but what we bust what I call FraudRaisers, and this is from Jeff a FraudRaiser. This is a complete LARP. It's a complete lie using KIELY RODNI, that poor girl's name, in order for Jeff to get some damn money in his pocket, and so that he can pretend like he's a damn investigator, that he went to college, that he actually, you know, is trained and knows what he's doing and can get justice for KIELY RODNI. And the last time I checked, KIELY RODNI's case was closed. Now, some people say it's been reopened. Some people say it's still open. We'll see what we can find out on that, because I don't trust Adventures with Purpose. I don't trust Jeff, right? I think we can go as far as to trust the investigators and the people who looked into the case at the local precinct, right? So we'll see what we can do to try to figure out whether the case is open or closed. The thing is, though, there's just way too much misinformation out there right now. And Jeff, definitely, this is fake. This is fake. Last night on the stream, I went in and checked to see if Jeff's website updates with the amount of money he gets and shows it here, or if Jeff just basically created a little thing and a little box and a little thing here and put it in his site. And guess what? Jeff just literally made this in MS Paint and put it on his website. All of this is just to get money. I don't know what he's doing with the money. I definitely know that money is not, number one, it should have never used KIELY RODNI's name to be collected. And also, that money shouldn't have been spent on background checks for Sammy Smith, regardless of the conspiracy theories that people create around Sammy. There needs to be concrete information. Any type of background check or surveillance should be done to the standard where it can be used in a court of law. Huh?
CC's saying that Jeff owns Vendor Lock.
What's Vendor
runs
Lock?
it? Not sure yet. That's what he used on his donate. He talks about it, the Vendor Lock, in the description of the donate ability.
Vendor Lock. You will see Vendor Lock when you click the link. Yes, that is correct. What the fuck does this even mean? Yes, that is correct. All donations at the links I provide or this button go only to the crowdfunding for the private investigation. They don't go towards the channel or equipment. Well, guess what, Jeff? You haven't put out any proof of that, so we don't believe you. We're going to believe reality. Reality is you did not use GoFundMe. The reality is you decided to take this money into your personal accounts. And the reality is you haven't shown any proof of how much you've made or how much you've spent. And until you do that, you are assumed this is an assumed FraudRaiser. Also, you raising money in KIELY's name is an absolute FraudRaiser, you disgusting human. Anyway, let's hear what else Squirrel has to say.
So there was never any boots on the ground. So the private investigative
I'm not going to go there.
firm, if he did have one, at AAA, was not his private investigative team. That was
Well, number one, you don't just hire a private investigator or a private investigative team. You have to have a reason to hire them. If you raise money to get justice for KIELY and you just decide to give that money to a private investigator and they don't do shit, you still ripped everybody off. Just making sure everybody understands that, right?
was Magnum PI. I was who he was referring to as his secret PI. He was not paying me.
Secret
Which,
PI.
of course, I wouldn't accept a payment at all anyway. And that's okay that he referred to me as a secret PI. But not if he's leading people to believe that he's paying for the secret PI.
No, it's not okay for you to be called the secret PI. You would be called the secret YouTube contact. It's dishonest to call you a secret PI unless you are licensed and employed as a private investigator, because it gives a context to the people he's talking to that's not true, okay? Just making sure that we're all good here, right?
I thought he was making payments. I thought that his money went to Magnum PI and that they were doing the stuff that he was saying that they were doing. And
Well, you should have been questioning the stuff that Jeff was saying he was doing and how it was going to get justice for KIELY, because none of the stuff that Jeff has had come out of his mouth makes any sense at all. Especially not stalking some 18-year-old American citizens for the sake of what? Trying to appear cool on YouTube? I don't get it.
and that I was assisting him in another part of the effort. He will provide Jeff the information if he wants proof. He said he will pull his bank records to show the 2 deposits. They show Jeff's name. There were 2 deposits, $350 each, from Jeff's PayPal account. He said he knows very little about the case. He didn't have very many discussions. I believe he said that the conversation that I had.
So basically, it's exactly like I said it was. Jeff found the cheapest kind of background check thing he could find. He threw money at it to try to add more validity to his scam and what he was doing to make money off of KIELY's name, right? By pretending and LARPing as him getting justice or investigating. And he is ripping off everyone who gave him money. He is disrespecting and ripping off the memory of KIELY and her family. And he's acting like a complete douchebag and a cringy internet fucking LARPer at the same time. This dude is a fucking cringe lord.
That day, which was about an hour and a half, was the longest conversation. And that conversation was basically me listening to Jeff talk for an hour and a half about his, hopes and
Oh my
dreams.
God, I don't know how you listen to him talk for 10 minutes. Literally like nails on a chalkboard.
Of finding justice for
I feel like I'm being showered in fucking weird internet guy spit every time I see him talk on my screen.
KIELY. So I have said a million times, I think that he had good intentions and he wanted to help. Well, my mind is blown because this clearly tells me that he has knowingly and willingly been, and I'm going to say it, lying to us. Jeff, you have been lying.
Okay, Sammy, I'm sorry, Squirrel Girl. He lied to you when he started to take the money. He lied to you when he told you he was getting justice for KIELY. He lied to everybody when he was talking about surveying and doing background checks. He's lied the whole time. The man is not an investigator. He is not trained. He's not licensed. He's faking. It's called an act. It's called a LARP. This isn't real. It's a game. And it would be fine for him to sit and pretend if he wasn't using minor children who die in accidents, and at the same time, if he wasn't collecting large amounts of money in their names, okay? You want to pretend to be something on the internet? Go ahead. You want to pretend like, because you can't do it in real life, because you're not able to be able to go to school and get a degree and get trained and get certified or whatever, fine. Go to the internet and play as an adult. People are going to laugh at you, but you can do it. But don't collect money like this unless you want to get in a lot of trouble. And Jeff is in a lot of trouble.
To us. This is proof that you have been lying to us.
Oh, yeah.
I think that you are highly manipulative.
Oh, yeah.
I think there are reasons why your channel was demonetized before you all of a sudden popping up here to help with KIELY's case. You sold me the story about your experience.
Of course there's a reason. Of course there is. But yeah, it wouldn't happen for no reason. Now, sometimes it's accidental or sometimes it's incorrect. But yes, of course there's a reason.
Experience with how you, felt that it was so important. But I now believe, Jeff, that you knew what you were going to be doing, which was going to be exploit others, selling false hope, raising money, getting views under the guise of helping find justice for KIELY. Because
Yep.
you
Ding, ding,
have
ding.
been lying to us. So I am thankful.
Well, everybody out there who is LARPing on how they're going to get justice for KIELY is LARPing, just so you know. Everybody out there who's playing internet games to get justice, YouTube games, they're LARPing. They're bullshitting you. And interviewing people and attempting to get good information to give to your audience needs to be done from the aspect of you being a YouTuber, a broadcaster. Imagine yourself someone doing a radio talk show. That's it. That's as far as you go. If you pretend you're farther than that, you're cringy.
That I stayed true to myself and authentic to myself to defend myself in the ways that I felt were correct, because had I not done everything that I did, it would not have led me to be compelled to contact Magnum PI today to find out this information. And this information, I hope, can put this to rest to prove to everyone.
The fact that he ran the background checks in the first place without having a good reason to do it on random people involved in their friend experiencing a tragedy is creepy. He is a creeper. The fact that he told you he wanted to fucking tail Sammy in his car and shit, he is a psycho. He is creepy. People that investigate these things respect the rights of the people that they're investigating. Jeff only respects the rights of his wallet.
That he was lying to us. For those of you that will still defend him, saying that he was not lying to us, I can't.
Laugh at them. Laugh at them. Joke on them. If they think they're going to defend Jeff at this point, dear God, you need to laugh at them, and hopefully they'll take that as, okay, I must be a clown and I need to change my ways, and hopefully the criticism will seep through.
Cannot fix your mind. People will see what they want to see. I pick my battles wisely in trying to help you when you are not able or willing to help yourself. That is not my responsibility. But I do have a responsibility to defend myself. You have a responsibility. All of you that are listening, we have to defend ourselves. If we do not defend ourselves against any type of abuse, then we begin to accept the abuse as it being okay, and next thing you know, we could be.
So here's how you defend yourself against Jeff threatening you, blackmailing you, and trying to dox you. File it to Team YouTube. I've already put out a tweet at Unirock TV on Twitter. Go underneath it, quote tweet it, tag Team YouTube, let them know that Jeff did this to you. Make sure that anyone out there who can help us tag Team YouTube and let them know what Jeff is doing goes underneath the tweet and does that. Then you need to file a police report and let them know that Jeff has done this to you, because yes, it's that serious. Based on what he said to you, it is that serious. That police report then can be sent to Team YouTube later once you get it. And also, we will be contacting, like I've been saying this whole time, I just want to make it clear, the local PD, and attempting to file a report so that they know that Jeff is raising money in KIELY RODNI's name this way.
Be in the bottom of a lake. And then others have to come to our defense. You have to defend yourself, or you're putting yourself at risk. That's telling people that it's okay to abuse you.
Well, if you don't, I would say you need to block Jeff now. You need to block him now. Doesn't matter what he says after this. Doesn't matter what he does. Yeah.
CCTV says, okay, help. And yes, talk to the police today.
No, we can't do it.
They talk to the police. They talk to the police today.
Oh, excellent. Great. Good job. We won't be able to until this week coming up ourselves, but we're also going to. And I'm sorry, I was eating. I should not be talking right now, but yeah, great.
And that is never okay. People like to intimidate you and to scare you. It's no different than bullying on a playground.
Well, it is. And I'll tell you why. You see, Jeff isn't on a playground. Jeff is on the internet. It's called being a keyboard warrior. It's called being a cringe lord. See, when somebody tries to intimidate you on a playground, they are equally as shitty and all of those things, but at least they're doing it in real life. At least they're not sitting behind a screen doing it like a cowardly, weak little faker, okay? He's way more cringy. You cannot take this away from him. He is way more cringy than a playground bully. He's cringier than an elementary school playground bully. That's just factual. He can't argue his way out of it. He should be apologizing and accepting how cringy he is and then trying to fix it. He won't.
People just get meaner and scarier. But God strengthens you and will give you the courage and put the right people in your life to escape from whatever you need to get away from. It is never okay.
That is true. And there's only one way to solve these kind of problems with people like Jeff, and that's to get it to YouTube.
It is never okay to speak up. You are worth it. And if you are hearing this message, if that resonates with you, that's not an accident. God is in control. All evil will be turned to good.
Very true. Very true. So, oh, baby. Let's reset here. Let's get, back into focus. So basically, what did we learn from this? We learned that Jeff supposedly, according to Squirrel, I don't know if anyone has any kind of like text communication with Jeff. It'd be really good to have it, because we would love to be able to show that Jeff is admitted to trying to stalk the friends of Kylie Rodni. That'd be great to have for YouTube content. Myself uploading YouTube content on top of getting a hold of the authorities with it, because that's just too far. Surveying, doing all these crazy things. Like, one thing Jeff would learn if he actually went to college is that you can't just do that shit to anybody. You have to have a good damn reason. You people have a right to privacy. You don't just drive by someone's effing house recording them with your phone and upload it to YouTube. Now, if you do drive by someone's house recording it with your phone, you are a creeper, a window peeping creeper. You're a stalker, doxer, and a creeper. Now, when you upload it to YouTube, that means you're also too stupid to realize you're a window peeping creeper, okay? It's this person, I don't give a shit what they did. Uploading that, making it content, trying to make money off of it, playing these games. Lordy, we've stumbled into a cringe lord's fucking playground here. I don't know what else to say. But more than anything, if you know of anyone who's done a fundraiser or taken money to specifically bait people into donating using Kylie Rodni's name, make sure you tell us. Get it in. Because this will not happen anymore. This shit has to stop on this platform. We're putting our foot down. And I get it. These con men and con people and con women, I don't know, they're going to be pissed, just like the previous scams we've busted. But you know what? It'll be a good lesson for them. You can get mad, you can kick your feet, you can, you know, cry, maybe get your bottle, maybe get your soy milk and calm down, because this is wrong on all levels. So, where do we go from here? I'm still pissed over this video. I'm still pissed that he's giving implied death threats to the people he's mad at. I'm still pissed that he is monetizing Kylie Rodni's name with clickbait and the other things, that the other criticisms we gave yesterday. But I'm also pissed off that others are doing it too, right? So I guess the next thing we have to do, well, if AWP has the interview with this person locked behind a paywall, we're probably not going to be able to react to it, until it comes out from the paywall, right?
Right, which would be about like 2 days from when they put it behind the paywall, apparently.
Let me go to the AWP channel and see what we got, because I want to hear about this this interview with this tow truck driver. Why in the fuck does it matter? Why do people want to see the interview with the tow truck driver? Like,
Rose says it releases tomorrow, and
oh, great.
StemKB says, in short, the AAA guy Nick believes he saw Kylie and her ex after she went missing. He told AWP about his roadside encounter. AWP amplified the foul play narrative.
Okay. Listen. So this guy thinks that he saw a blonde young girl that he thought was Kylie, right? How does he know that this person he saw was Kylie and wasn't some other 16-year-old blonde girl, right? On top of that, you know, is it because when she went missing, he saw her picture? Is he absolutely, like, how does he know what day it was? How does he know he's not confused about the day, the time? Now, this kind of stuff happens all the time. All the time. There are people out there and they get paranoid. They end up thinking they've seen Kylie Rodni in their backyard and shit after someone disappears. It's not just a function of them wanting attention or anything like that. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. It could be, but sometimes it's just an issue of them thinking about the case too much or being too emotionally affected by the case. You know, these types of cases, especially when a person has lost somebody in a similar circumstance or that looks similar, it does affect them and it will cause them to have these kind of strange things happen. So that is why trained professionals do not amplify that kind of information. I'm sure the police had 100,000 tips, or, you know, 1,000 tips, whatever a realistic number is. I was exaggerating, but I'm sure they had a realistic amount of tips when Kylie was missing about people seeing Kylie. And I'm sure they investigated every one of those tips and figured out whether the tip was credible or was not credible. So if this person saw this, we know where Kylie is now. We know where she is. There's a thing, unless people are trying to say DNA and dental records don't work, right? We know where she is. And now, that doesn't mean that she's not alive and that the popo didn't mess up the DNA or something, or mess up the dental records or the identification, however they identified her, and yada, yada, yada. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. But in order for anyone to believe it, it doesn't take some weirdo saying it. It takes a large amount of things to overcome the evidence the police have for the possibility to exist, right? Especially when it's something as weak as a tow truck driver saying that he saw somebody, compared to the forensic evidence of what they have in the identification. Also, did Kylie have any tattoos or any type of piercings or any type of other type of identifying marks that could have been used? Like, I'm not saying, like, I don't know how long she was underwater is why I'm saying that. I don't remember. My point is, if we want to make some argument that Kylie could still be alive, you can't just ignore all the other stuff that's there. You have to account for it, right? So, you know, I don't care if a tow truck driver, I don't give a fuck if AWP did an interview with a tow truck driver and this dude said he saw Kylie, because I guarantee you the police have 1,000 other people that swear they saw Kylie. If we know where she is, though, his information immediately is worthless, right? I don't even want to react to it unless somebody can give me a good reason why we're not to trust the police having found Kylie. Like, I'm not saying that it can't exist. I'm not saying it can't be a thing, right? I'm not saying it can't be real or anything. I'm just saying, without an explanation, without some type of breakdown for why we should still be looking for Kylie, yeah, without some type of breakdown, without an explanation to overcome what the police have, identified her body and all that. It's her own car. It's her body in the car, right? You following me here? It's not like they found her in someone else's car. It's not like they found her, and it's not like with a fire where they find someone and they have to go on degraded evidence. Are you following me, Navy? Am I saying this properly?
Yeah. So what you're saying is that the things that the evidence that they had were very strong in the aspect of like dental records and the fact that it wasn't that long after it happened. So it wasn't like they were doing something, you know, 6 months, a year, 7 years, 10 years later, right?
Yeah. Definitely. So I get it. There are some people out there at AWP that, or maybe if AWP is the one saying this, I'll just say on the internet, there are people out there who maybe don't know how these things work. Maybe they haven't studied any kind of forensic, you know, I was going to say pathology, but that's the wrong word, but you get me. Science, any forensic science. They haven't studied this kind of thing. They don't understand it, and I have a limited understanding of it because I'm a computer guy. The point is, you know, you can't say that you can't, it's a conspiracy theory if we're going to skip the information, the evidence and facts that are there to try to sit and talk about whether this guy saw her. Obviously, he could have just said the wrong day. He could be mistaken. He could be wrong. Maybe he fell and hit his head. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? Now, one thing I want to do is go through some of the Kylie videos that are out there and see what it is that people are saying. Because again, yesterday is the first day that I even knew this shit was happening. You know, we hear about Kylie disappearing. We followed it until they found her, right? And then we updated you guys with the video evidence of Kylie's car going into the lake, because there's a video that shows it. And we talked about it. And then I thought we all started to understand that it was over, that she'd been found. And we moved on to other things, right? And yesterday, to stumble upon the videos that are just out there, clickbaiting her name, it really is depressing. It's depressing that people don't care more about just basic fucking decency. Now, again, I'm not saying you can't do videos about her. I'm saying the people out there that are doing the shitty videos, and that's what I want to find. I want to cringe at a little bit of these shitty videos. But before we do that, we've got YouTube Jeff doxed the wrong person. This is why you don't allow people like ScamTube Jeff over here to do investigations. You don't support their investigations. Some random fuckwit on the internet standing up and saying, I'm an investigator. You don't trust those kind of people, guys. Come on. Seriously. Okay, we watched the first part of this, so let's skip ahead a little bit.
There's no truth. So, in Jeff's video, he claims that the girl you see on the screen right now is Sammy Smith.
Okay, so Jeff put up a video claiming that this girl is Sammy Smith. Okay.
Needless to say, this girl's not very happy about...
Well, and this is called doxing. That's what this is called. Jeff is an idiot. Let's hear what this girl has to say real quick here. I guess it starts right around here.
Saying she's Sammy. Here you go.
I have a story for you this morning. It has been brought to my attention that there is a YouTube video circulating around that is resurfacing my...
Oh my god, his shitty fucking background. Breaking news!
Middle school and junior high YouTube videos in correlation to the KIELY RODNI case that is ongoing in California right now. To the left, this is Sammy Smith. She was with KIELY the night that she had disappeared. A lot of people are saying...
Is this why people are sitting here stalking this poor girl because she was with KIELY? You realize stalking someone makes you a shitty person, right? You do understand that. I mean, have we lost that kind of thing in society where going around and fucking like looking up everybody's shit and sticking your nose where it doesn't belong in things doesn't make you a shitbag? Like, what has happened out there?
Saying that she knows more than she's letting on, so a lot of people are researching.
How does that even make fucking sense? More than what she's letting on. Oh, when was this done? A month ago? When was a month ago here? Okay, that would have been 11/10, which I think she was found by then, but I could be wrong.
Into Sammy, and this
yeah,
is
she
May.
was.
I have tried all night and all morning to log into my Sammy Sam YouTube account. Unfortunately, I did make that YouTube channel when I was super young. I cannot remember what email and what password.
Are you telling me that Jeff found a random YouTube video and that's how he claims to have snooped Sammy?
I use. So
Apparently.
Lucky for you, Jeff, even though you save those videos on your computer, those will be there forever because I have no access in deleting them. In regards to some of the comments circulating around.
Why is Jeff downloading middle school videos anyway of a girl on his laptop or on his hard drive? Jeff, why are you doing that, Jeff?
A lot of people were pointing out the birthmark on the neck. I still have that.
Oh shit, son. Wow, mind blown.
Did not get it removed. The videos on my channel are when I was 13 and 14, around that age, and then...
How do you not take this as evidence? Did he not take this video as evidence that he was wrong? Because that should tell you that Jeff, right there, ignoring evidence, is not an investigator. He's a YouTube LARPer.
Some that are just on YouTube from
Investigators don't ignore evidence.
other accounts, 5 Super Kids. I was even younger, 11, 12, so my voice is...
And Jeff...
Oh, it's so creepy. So
downloaded
creepy, bro.
all... It is. He's a fucking creepster, bro. He's a literal creepy dude. Why does he admit the things he admits? Why doesn't he try to keep it secret that he's downloading videos of 11 and 12-year-olds and shit?
It's going to sound a lot different. I am 25 now.
At least then we wouldn't think he's so much of a creeper. You know, he could try to lie about it.
In correlation to some of the videos on my channel,
I don't want to know that he did this.
Here is a video that you can see my neighbor's house in the background. Here is a picture from my high school prom. They did get rid of the basketball hoop. Much overdue. Here is another clip from the YouTube video, and then a picture of me and my mom at my senior prom in front of the same house. Just to put a little...
Oh God, Jeff, you are so bad. How in the fuck are you gonna get justice for anybody when you're this dumb, Jeff?
Well, icing on the cake in case you still don't believe me. Here is a picture of me and the two girls that were in one of the videos, the music video. They were my actual friends, not made up people, and no one else
Did Jeff say that they were made up people? Because, oh my God, that would be hilarious.
would have this photo but me
Oh my god.
because
Oh.
frankly it should
It's so funny, bro.
be shared anywhere, but I'm sharing
God, he's got to feel like an absolute
it for
moron.
the extra information for you. But
He's
fucking
probably
YouTube sleuths,
pissed.
man. I tell you
Oh,
what.
I know, dude. He's probably angry. Like, God, she thinks she's gonna debunk me. Oh yeah, you're a alien.
yeah, I just wanted to clear the air. That YouTube channel is me. Unfortunately, I would love to get on there and post this video there, but I'm hoping this can reach some sort of audience to kind of.
Well, it would have, random internet denizen, if the person you're trying to reach, YouTubeback Jeff, wasn't dishonest. If he wasn't a liar, then he probably would have corrected himself, shown your video on his own channel, and told people that he was wrong and apologized for it. Like we do if we get something wrong. Oh, wow, it's so hard to do that. Yeah.
Trying to get some clarity on the situation, but yeah, sorry. Also, please don't judge me for my middle school YouTube videos. I was
Oh, whatever. No one's
not
judging you.
intending for thousands of people to see those. Boy, do I have a story.
So there you go. I believe she proved her point.
Absolutely, she proved her point. You know, if someone's gonna go against this and say that she's lying or something, or that it's a conspiracy theory, you shouldn't ever listen to them again. It's called living in a fantasy. You have to be able to discern the fake from the real, because when you're living in the fantasy, you're wasting your time. That is, if it's not a really good video game, or if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, or maybe a cards game or something, like a board game. Other than that, or maybe if you're hanging out with other people and you're making it into something like a play or something, then that's cool, but maybe it's a movie. The point is, if you're this bored, I'm telling you, I can find you so many better things to do with your time than to live in Jeff's or other YouTubers' fake ass realities. Because guess what? When you're playing a video game and a board game and a card game, you are the one advancing from it. You're advancing your mind, you're advancing your thoughts, you're having fun, you're enjoying yourself, you're hanging out with other people. When you're living in Jeff's world, you're just being exploited for money. Or any other YouTuber that's doing it. You're being exploited for money.
I believe the girl. I don't believe she's Sammy. She don't even look like Sammy now or then. So, again,
I mean, that is the first thing you do before you make the YouTube video, is fact check a little.
be careful who you're following. Be careful
Yes.
who you're watching and listening to.
Yep.
I have seen so many comments, and let me tell you something. I can tell when I read a comment from somebody and the information.
Okay. Nice video. Good video. Looks nothing like Sammy. Someone cray.
Ow.
Is he another one who's gullible or puts falsehood so people will comment and view? It's both, actually.
I'm
But
gonna
go
view.
ahead.
No, I agree. So the thing is this, like, if you are so desperate for clicks and views that you want to basically stalk teenagers, there is something seriously wrong with you. You need to go
Oh,
back
yeah.
and reevaluate your life, right?
Well, that's the thing. There's a lot of YouTubers that would think about that while they're doing the content, you know, like on top of that, YouTube is very strict on their rules. That could be why you got demonetized. When you're posting about people that are under the age of 18 for any reason, let alone for when they're, now if they're a public story, there's a difference between posting about the public story or posting about their personal life. And I could guarantee you that YouTube has a problem with Jeff posting content that would encourage or misinform or lead people to try and stalk people that are as young as these people are. KIELY is 16. Just because one of her friends is 18 doesn't mean the others aren't. And you really think Jeff stopped at Sammy? I don't think so. I truly don't.
Well, according to what CC's saying, he went after someone named ML, and when I was reading the live chat, she is a minor, and he posted her home. Like
You've got to be joking. Well, if there's any proof of the stuff he's done, I'd like to get all of it together and get it to Team YouTube. If you want to help me get Team YouTube to look into this situation, you can go to Twitter at unirock TV, and the top 2 posts I have me tagging Team YouTube, and they relate to 2 different YouTubers that are actively threatening and doxing people as we speak to this current day. And those creators, there has to be a line drawn with creators like that. Censorship is a bad thing, but when people do these things to scare, intimidate, hurt, blackmail, or change the behavior of others for their own benefit, it's not censorship at that point. It is us saying that we want to hear people's opinions. We want a YouTube community there where people who put out the best videos get the views. We don't want people that get up there and tell lies and stalk kids get views. Are you feeling me? Or adults. Stalking kids or adults, anybody gets the views. Because if those things get views, it's going to lead more YouTube back Jeffs. I can't believe I have to say that out loud. That is such a cringy channel name. But it would lead more YouTube